What up, everybody? Good morning and happy Wednesday. Dan Kasper Show is on the air on your radio dials, 105.1 FM, 790 AM. Also available online, sportstalk1051.com, where you can check out the YouTube live video stream that's up and rolling, the new YouTube live video stream out there. Give it a shout, give it a check. Join the conversations that kind of go on in there. All that good stuff. Otherwise, you got the Sports Talk app and your Google and Alexa home devices. But hopefully you're all off to a fantastic start on this Making the Turn Wednesday. A little bit of a rainy, wet start. Keep your eye on the sky today. Sounds like pretty much wherever you're listening to us from. But yeah, make sure you're weather aware, as they say, right? Is that what they say? Weather aware? Something like that. All right. What do we got on the lineup card here this morning? Well, Brewers lost again 4-0 against the Mets last night, dropping game 1 of their series with the Mets. Adrian Hauser picking up his 7th loss on the season. Struggling a little bit there in the first. And I shouldn't put it all on Adrian Hauser. But racked up quite a few pitches there in the first 37 pitches in the first inning. Had 2 infield hits, so 2 balls that were kind of in the gloves of the Brewers players and just couldn't get any outs. Mets made them work early on and putting up 3 runs there in the first already, putting them in a hole. And the offense couldn't do anything. Couldn't do anything. 3 hits. 3 hits. I mean, come on. That's it. And I know that you got to give some credit. I shouldn't say some, but got to give credit to Bassett there. I mean, he was wheeling and dealing last night, going 8 innings, 7 strikeouts, 1 walk, just 3 hits. Oof. But man, kind of a bummer last night. I don't know, but well, we got Corbin Burns on the mound tonight for the Brew Crew. Hopefully the ace can, I got confidence in Corbin Burns, but the offense, I mean, where are you at? Christian Yelich stayed in the leadoff spot last night, picking up another hit. He was one of the 3 hits. Narvaez, again, guy who's been hitting extremely well as of late, picking up one of the hits, and then Peterson. Luis Urias did play. I was a little surprised. I mean, I thought with a hamstring injury when he was listed as day to day, thought maybe they'd be a little bit cautious with it, but no, he was out there. He played. So wrong on that one. Won't be the first time. Won't be the last time. But Brewers had some chances last night. Had a couple of times there where they had 2 runners on with just 1 out, and next batter putting out double play, double play. So yeah. What do you okay, Bruce? I kind of put out a tweet last night, like, it was half joking, but I kind of feel like maybe it's trending that way for some people. I don't want to, I don't know, but I was like, hey, but didn't plan on, pining for football season even more than I usually do by mid-June. But I just really, really hope that the Brewers can get out of this funk and I don't know. But 2.5 back now from the Cardinals. 2.5 back. What a difference just a couple of weeks make. Where the Brewers were up by a few games there in the division, but now 2.5 back, and the Cardinals almost had a no-hitter last night with Mikolas. So we'll hear from Craig Counsell coming up here in just a little bit. His thoughts on Adrian Hauser last night and his performance and such. And then look ahead to tonight's game with Corbin Burns on the mound. Packers last OTA practice, last week of OTAs. Not a lot of veterans there, not a lot of starters there. Rashawn Gary was there though. Probably the biggest name starter, not to downplay a couple. I mean, you had, Yash, as you could count him as a starter, and Runyon, but I would say Rashawn Gary was probably the biggest name that was still there. A lot of veterans excused and not there. So, but we're gonna hear from Matt LaFleur too. We'll play a little bit of a clip from his pre-practice press conference there, and he was asked about David Bakhtiari and the health of David Bakhtiari. I'm gonna play the clip, and I want your reaction from what you heard from Coach LaFleur yesterday, talking about status update for one David Bakhtiari, which every single Packers fan and probably everybody within that organization is kind of crossing fingers and holding their breath that guy is going to be ready to go for this season. So we'll play that. And then NFL.com. So Adam Rank kind of does a series, State of the 2022 teams, and he did it for the Packers. And he used a comparison in here, talking about the wide receivers, and that's obviously been the biggest topic of conversation for everybody surrounding the Packers this year. But he used a comparison that I thought was kind of interesting, kind of intriguing. And I never thought of it before. But he used 2015 as a comparison when the Packers, if you remember, Jordy Nelson, that was the year he went down with an ACL injury. And then, they brought in James Jones. They still had Randall Cobb. 2015, though, that was the quote-unquote down year for Devontae Adams, where a lot of fans wanted Devontae Adams just, out of there. He was dealing with some injuries. But can we use that 2015 comparison just a little bit? I wouldn't say fully, because one, completely different offense. That was a Mike McCarthy offense. And if you remember 2015, they got off to a fast start. I think, what was it, like off the top of my head, like 6-0. And then they played the Broncos in that Sunday night matchup. Believe it was between the 2 undefeated teams, and Peyton Manning and the Broncos, and that Broncos defense just had their way against Green Bay. And that kind of like started off on a trend, then Green Bay just was a completely different team after that. They lost that final game at home against Minnesota. I think G-Man might have been the first time I met you when we went on that bus for that game. Minnesota, I believe, ended up winning the division because of that game. Green Bay did still go to the postseason. They beat Washington. And then it was that Arizona playoff game, Jeff Janis and a couple of Hail Marys there. But I thought it was kind of an intriguing comparison. I mean, you can't completely compare it because of, with I think the big thing being the style of offense. But as Adam Rank pointed out too, that was the year that Eddie Lacy kind of coming in, out of shape a little bit. Packers, you could say their defense completely different than what it is now. They didn't have a running game like Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. Can we kind of look at that? I just kind of thought it was an interesting comparison. So we'll kind of visit that a little bit later on. Also, we'll do some Stanley Cup picks. Game 1 tonight. Who are you rolling with for the Stanley Cup? Who are you going to pick? You going to go Tampa? You going to go Colorado? Make your picks. Text it to us. 715-830-1912 on the Shoe Doctors bullpen line. Tweet it at DANKASPER. Facebook it, facebook.com/Kasper Sports, or on the new YouTube live video stream. Do it up on there too. So we'll do that, and then some U.S. Open picks, because that'll be teeing off tomorrow. So let's get some predictions. Let's get some picks rolling on through here. It is a Wednesday, so whose stock is rising, whose stock is falling? Make your picks with that. We'll do a little match game coming up around, let's say 7:20. Go around 7:20. Yeah, that's what we usually do, 7:25, depending on how long our little sports nuggets usually take there. So, yeah. What was I? Oh, I want to give a shout out to Eau Claire North baseball. They did fall yesterday, so congratulations on a fantastic season. I know that probably it didn't end the way that they were hoping, but falling yesterday. So, but shout out to Eau Claire North baseball. Today we'll and North fell to Greendale with a 6-4 victory. But best of luck to Regis, and hopefully the weather cooperates. I don't know what the weather's supposed to be like down there, but hopefully the weather cooperates for Eau Claire Regis baseball. And best of luck down there at State today. Early this morning, I believe, too. So let's get things rolling here this morning. Wisconsin Credit Union opening drive. What's on our leadoff topic here? Let's talk some baseball. Brewers falling to the Mets last night. Just 3 hits, no offense to help out Adrian Hauser, even though Adrian Hauser's struggling a little bit. I should say the Brewers. I don't want to put it all on Adrian Hauser there in that first inning. But the Brewers allowing 3 runs in the first. And that's pretty much that felt like that was it. All right, game over after that. But we'll recap that. Look ahead to tonight's game with Corbin Burns on the mound. Is he going to get enough offensive support with the ace on the mound? Brewers just falling down in the standings right now. It's falling down a little bit. It's okay. We got plenty of season left, right? We're going to stay positive, right? We're going to stay positive throughout this whole thing. Promise we'll stay positive. Fingers crossed. Also, by the way, I forgot. We are going to be giving away some gas today. $50 gas giveaway from our good friends at River Country Co-op. So today we'll be announcing the first winner. All right, the first winner. $50 in fuel. There you go. We'll do that about, let's say 8:05. Okay, 8:05. But for all of you who signed up on our website, we're randomly going to pick. Going to put your names in that name generator that we always use on the internet. And bada bing, it'll be a random pick right there. So best of luck to everybody. And we've got a few more that we'll be giving away in the coming days too. So if you don't win this one, don't fret. You still got some more chances. Okay, let's get things rolling. Wisconsin Credit Union opening drive. Let's talk some Brewers baseball. How you feeling about this team, Brewers fans?
Dan Kasper Show will be right back after these.
for road trips and all that good stuff. But I just found out too, they're going to be doing a car show, their car show on July 20th. All right, July 20th. So put that on the calendar. All right, July 20th. Check it out. I was there last year checking it. It was awesome. It was really cool. So put that on the calendar, July 20th, car show, ASAP used auto parts. A couple of texts to catch up on here from a couple of our regulars here. Living a dream, Jeff. Morning, Dan. I'm rolling with Tampa. Talking about Stanley Cup. In my opinion, this team is better than the previous championship teams. Colorado is good, but Tampa seems to have everyone's number. Living the dream. G-Man also chiming in on the texting line. Captain, I'm going to go with Tampa Bay and Brooks Koepka to win the U.S. Open, and the Brewers win today. So, got a couple predictions right there. Big thanks, fellas, for sending us your picks. I want to give a shout out. I don't know if he's listening, but I want to give a shout out to Clay from Service Master, dropping off a little caffeine here this morning. You know, the one of the many things about doing this is meeting some amazing people. G-Man, Living a Dream Jeff, Surveyor Sam, Clay from Service Master. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. But man, I feel like I know a lot of you guys and gotten to know some of you, and we're becoming good acquaintances. But pretty blessed to know a lot of you, and pretty blessed to be doing this, and you guys listening, and guys and girls listening, and all the support in that too. So, but I just wanted to kind of give a shout out to Clay, but all of you too for all the support and for the listening and positive reinforcements and all that good stuff. So I appreciate all of you. If I don't say it enough, I try to say it as much as I possibly can. I appreciate all of you listening and the support and all that too. Appreciate you guys. And we wouldn't be doing this without you. This is your thing. This is your guys. You guys, all of you listening right now, I feel like you are all a part of the program. Not just me, just all of you. That's why I love getting your opinions and your thoughts, even though we may not necessarily agree on all of it. That's the beauty thing about sports, in my opinion. We can all have our different thoughts and opinions, and you know what? Everybody's right. There really isn't a right or wrong answer in it all for the most time. So, big thanks to everybody. Appreciate you. Okay, let's get into some Brewers chat, right? Let's hear from Craig Counsell last night talking about Adrian Hauser, audio courtesy from Brewers.com.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Adrian did a pretty good job. I mean, the 37 pitches, we had 2 infield hits there, 2 balls we get our glove on that we don't get outs. So, there wasn't, they made him work. Obviously, the first hitter makes him throw 9 pitches and then hits a double. He battled well through the inning. But they made him throw a ton of pitches. But he didn't pitch poorly that inning necessarily. Little, he had some maybe too many misses that kind of let him into some deep counts. But came back and pitched pretty well. I mean, that line score could have looked a lot different tonight, I thought. I mean, that's what he pitched pretty well the rest of the night, and I think he pitched pretty well the first inning. It wasn't. I thought the first hitter hurt him, really. It was, that you throw 10 pitches and you double. The second hitter, we get our glove on a ball and don't make a play. So then we're looking at he's kind of, he's got his work cut out for him with the middle of the order coming out.
So there you go, just a little bit from Craig Counsell last night after the Brewers falling to the Mets in Game 1 of their series. Again, audio courtesy from Brewers.com. But Craig Counsell, man, you could kind of sense it in his voice a little bit, and his answers just a little frustration, a little down, just maybe like a man at a loss of words here a little bit. Like, what do we got to, what's going on? Why can't we hit? What's the deal here? Come on. I mean, Counsell to me, it sounds like a lot of us Brewers fans right now. It's like, what the HE double hockey sticks is going on here? I mean, come on, we got to get out of this funk here. What else can we do with this lineup? Guys aren't producing. You know, you could put a lineup card in there. You could put your guys on that card, but if they're not going to freaking hits and all that, I don't know. It's not supposed to be a grind my gears Wednesday, but it almost feels like that. I mean, what's your state of mind right now, Brewers fans, with this team? Are you trying to stay positive? You know, because I feel like when it comes to, I would say it's mostly for like Bucks or Badgers, and you know, you're still going to have diehard with Brewers fans. Brewers fans are always going to listen. They're always going to watch, pay attention to the Brew Crew. But you know, I feel like if this is a trend that's going to continue, and the closer we get to football season, maybe some people are just going to kind of check out at this point. And I hate to be, you know, all Debbie Downer and all that, but I feel like some fans just kind of start to check out at that point. It is only middle of June. You know, you don't want to be like sky's falling, panic and all that stuff, but it's just frustrating. You know, a few weeks ago, the Brewers were up by a few games in the division, and now they're down 2.5. But that's also, you can use that argument as an example. It can change on a dime. It can change within a matter of days. In fact, it could even change by next week with that series. But the Brewers have to put themselves in a position to when they get to that series with the Cardinals that they can make up some ground. They've got to prove it to themselves that they are a team that can compete for a championship. I'm going to see if I could try to find the numbers here. I saw them last night. Numbers against, I should have saved it on Twitter, but I just happened to go by it here a little bit. But the Brewers' numbers, hitting wise, against teams over 500, not great. It's not great right now. Now, is that something to? Here we go. Kurt Hogg found it. 61 homers in 34 games against sub 500 opponents. 19 homers in 28 plus games against opponents over 500. So, is that something that we should be concerned about? Is that something that we can, you know, when we look at those numbers, if we break it down there a little bit, is that something that we should, you know, really dive into? Is there something there? Where there's smoke, there's fire? I think so. I think you can kind of look at that. Now, you can break it down a little bit more, I would say, and maybe kind of look at some pitching staffs or, you know, what the numbers like that looked. My cord just unplugged right there. What the heck's going on? Let's try this. Sound better? Okay, hopefully. But saw that last night, like, ooh. Because a few of you were, you know, a couple weeks ago when we were talking about, hey, Brewers were leading the majors and home runs and, you know, doing this. But a few of you did say, well, you know, look at who they played and look at where those numbers came from. I mean, a few of you called that out already. A few of you called that out and pointed that out. And you're not wrong. Look at that, and it's a little concerning. Yeah, I'm a little. My mindset as a Brewers fan, I'm a little down, a little like frustrated. I kind of feel like how Craig Counsell sounded after the game last night. Just a lot of frustration, a lot of like, you know, Waterboy was on the other day. Henry Winkler sitting in the locker. Anybody got any ideas? Kind of feel like that's right now with the Brewers. You know that part in the movie where he's just saying, anybody got any ideas? Kind of feel like that's right now the state of the Brewers. It's frustrating. But Corbin Burns on the mound tonight. Can the ace help out his team to a victory? I think we all have confidence in the world in Corbin Burns to be able to go out there and get the job done. It's just, can he get some run support? If you're looking at some of the pitching matchups here, David Peterson, lefty on the mound for the Mets, 3-0 with a 3 ERA. Not a ton of experience. David Peterson has faced Willie Adames a couple times. Andrew McCutchen, he has faced him 11 times. McCutchen does have a homer, but that's about it. 0.91 batting average after that. So, and Hunter Renfro's got one at bat against him too. So that's pretty much it right there. A little bit more experience with the Mets going up against Corbin. Pete Alonso is batting .500 against him in 6 at bats. Lindor's 111 and 9 at bats. And then Jeff McNeil's got the second most at bats with 7, 143 there, but a couple games worth there. So, I've got the confidence in Corbin Burns. I know you look at his last couple of starts. He hasn't gone that deep. He's racked up some of the pitches. Hasn't been his best work, especially against San Diego on the third, where he went 3 2/3, giving up 8 hits and 5 earned runs. Last game against Philly, just racked up a bunch of pitches, only going to 4 1/3 and 1 earned run there, but still picked up the loss. So I feel like Corbin's going to be due tonight for a Corbin Burns-esque type of performance. Again, it's just, can this freaking offense do anything? I feel like if the Brewers would just get 4 runs in a game, that'd be enough. Mindset, Brewers fans. What's going through your mind? How are you feeling about this ball club? Frustrating? Lost? At a loss of words? And just the fact that the Cardinals are playing extremely well, too, I think is adding on to my frustration a little bit there. I know I got a few Cardinals fans, not trying to always pick on them, but Cardinals are like the Vikings to me. They're just like, yeah, my main rival. It's just my main rival right there. Minnesota, just kind of doing some standings updates, still controlling the AL Central, but Cleveland has been playing well as of late. They're 7-3 in their last 10, and they have moved into second place and just 2.5 back from those Minnesota Twins. So Twinnies still on top of the AL Central with a 36-28 record, but Cleveland now approaching 30-27. Yankees are still doing their thing. I mean, won 5 in a row, 9-1 in their last 10, 45-16. You've got both Toronto and Tampa Bay. Toronto's 36-25 and Tampa Bay's 35-26, and you're talking 9 and 10 games behind. The Yankees are just on cruise control right now. Houston, thanks to the collapse of the Angels, they've got some good control on their division too, 38-24. They're 8.5 up on the second place Texas Rangers. Atlanta won't lose either. They've won 13 in a row right now. And they're 5 games back from the Mets. Mets 41-22, the second most wins in all of Major League Baseball. Atlanta 36-27, right behind them. Cardinals 37-27, 10 games over 500, leading the NL Central Brewers two back, 34-29. Dodgers leading their division 38-23. But Padres, they've climbed up 39-24. Dodgers holding on by the slimmest of margins with their win percentage. The Padres have been 7-3 in their last 10. And don't look now, but the Giants have won 5 in a row. And they are now 3 games back, 7-3 in their last 10 too. So that NL West shaping up to be a close division, kind of like what it was for the most part of last year too. We're looking at some of the numbers here just a couple weeks ago, where we were looking at the Brewers for hitting, right? And where they were listed amongst the major league leaders. This is how, it wasn't that long ago. Brewers were number 1 in Major League Baseball in home runs. Excuse me. They're now 3rd, which doesn't seem like that far of a drop-off, right? But the Yankees have 98. They lead. Braves are now number 2 with 94. Brewers are tied with the Phillies at 80. Leader Yankees 98, Brewers 80. If you're looking at their OPS right now, the Brewers, you have to go down to number 19. They're at 698. If you're looking at average, and I know these numbers don't tell the whole story about offense. A lot of it, there's the other metrics you can look at and hard hit rate and barrel rate and all that. That's a very, I shouldn't say divisive topic, but some people are more about the advanced analytics. Some people are going to be more about the traditional numbers. But if you're looking at average, Milwaukee 26 out of 30. The only teams worse than Milwaukee right now? Detroit, Pittsburgh, Arizona, Oakland. That's it. RBIs? Yeah. Brewers 16th. Taking a look at some of the pitching here. Brewers have even dropped down a little bit in terms of total ERA. They're now number 10 at 3.74. 3.74. Let's look at come on, where'd it go? All right, now the thing just froze up on me. So, I mean, both sides of both offense and defense haven't been playing extremely well as of late. Frustrating. All right, we got to take a quick break. I want to hear from you, though. Give me a text on that Shoe Doctors bullpen line, 715-830-1912. 715-830-1912. Quick break here. What's your mindset, Brewers fans, of this team right now? Give me some words to describe what you're feeling. Down, upset, frustrated, at a loss of words. We're trying to stay ultra positive right now. They are above 500, but they are really struggling as of late. I want to hear from you, all right? Light me up with some text messages. We'll be back after these quick words.
Stop by Value Implement today and test drive the Kubota difference.
Pretty much everybody, we got a couple that were going with Colorado, but the majority going with Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, they win this. That's 3 in a row. That's 3 in a row. Maybe Tampa Bay should be getting some more love out there. That's a heck of a run there if they can get it done. But some other Brewers comments here. Living Dream Jeff, to quote Denny Green, as for the Brewers, they are who we thought they were. Surveyor, I'll answer your question with another Waterboy quote. Oh no, we suck again. Drew from Eau Claire, these days are why I hate it's only one game of 162 mindset. Yes, I understand that you will never win every game and you'll go through bad streaks, but not holding the same weight between a midseason game as you'd hold against an NLDS game will just end up in us continuing to barely make the postseason and then end up out of it before the World Series. We need some real consistent offense, and the office needs to realize you have to spend money to do that. This kind of relates to our good buddy Stetsonville Brad. Brewers, disgusted with the owner, did essentially nothing to bolster the batting last offseason. Here's a fun number: 63 games played, 12 shutouts. That's a shutout every 5th game. Pathetic. Another Texas baseball is king, and I love my crew, but they are painful to watch right now. They have got to get a spark on the offensive side of the ball. There's a lot of season left, but I would hate to see them lose the division in June. Okay, so I'm not, I'm trying not to be over dramatic and be like frustrating that, but it seems like we're all in the same boat so far. Seems like we're all kind of in the same boat. How about the rest of you? All right, hit us up with quick text. Take a quick phone call before Morgs pops in. What up, C-Bomb?
Good morning, Al Capitano. How are we this gloomy Wednesday?
I'm doing good. Disappointed in the Brewers and all that, but you know what? I'm here. I'm breathing. We're good. And I got a little caffeine thanks to Clay. So
that's perfect. That's good work by you, Clay. And I'll tell you what, this gloomy Tuesday is just how I feel about this Brewers team. Gloomy. It's you try and look at it with from a 10,000-foot level and look at the big picture, but the big picture is starting to be painted and it's pretty ugly. This team.
Look at you with the analogies. Look at you, big boy.
I'm quick like a marsupial, brother. But I'll tell you what, this team. Yeah, marsupial, for those that don't know, like Surveyor Sam, a mammal with a pouch, like a kangaroo. But anyway, I digress. So, well, the thing with this team, and we said it all along, and I agree. I missed the name and who said that, but the front office not doing enough with this team. Not to derail myself, squirrel, but hey. Freddie Peralta just got put on the 60-day IL, so we're not going to see him for a while yet.
Yeah.
And the front office didn't do enough for this pitching staff. This offense lives and dies by the long ball, and they can't hit the long ball. So that's the recipe for disaster. And I'm hoping they make some moves, and I hope they don't wait till the trade deadline to do it, because we're still in a good spot. If we can add a couple pieces or do what we need to do to generate some offense, I think the team will be all right. And I said it earlier in the week that I don't think, are they as bad as they have been in June? No. Are they as good as they were in the beginning of the season? I don't think so. I just want to see them win close to 90 games. I think that could be enough, 88, 89 games, and I think they could still do that. But they need to make a change. They need to do something. And, going out and getting signing Chichi Gonzalez from the Twins isn't it. So let's hope they can they have a plan and they execute it.
Yeah. I don't know what that plan is. I don't even know how to figure out what it is, or even try to, predict what it is, because and I guess that to me is like my confidence. I don't really expect them to make a big move, however we want to describe a big move, like a big time bat. I guess I don't feel like they're going to do that either at this point.
Yeah, and that's frustrating, because you tell me that this team's going to go beat the Dodgers or go beat the Giants, and
yeah,
I don't see it happening. I just don't. And we've got the pitching to do it, but the pitching is one thing. You have to be able to have the offense to hit other teams' pitching, and we just have not shown it. The stat was just given, 13 shutouts out of 60 games.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous. And games like last night where we only generate 3 hits, you can blame that first inning and all those pitches on Hauser, but you know what? we got 3 hits.
Yeah,
So,
3 hits.
It is.
That's it.
Yep, it's frustrating, So who knows? It's still only June, but the games in June matter just as much as the ones in September and early October. So they need to get their foot on the gas and figure it out. And I just haven't seen enough to be optimistic about it. And it's pretty sad because we had a lot of high expectations coming into this year with this pitching staff, and now it hurts that one of our horses is on the 60-day DL. So
yeah,
we'll see what happens. But they got to do something. They can't be winning 2 out of 13 games.
They gotta finish this month of June strong, man. I mean, with this Mets series and then the Cardinals and then Toronto and Tampa Bay, it ain't gonna get any easier. They gotta finish this month strong to put themselves in a good spot, in my opinion.
I agree. And here's a little bit of a question for you. So if we look at the Brewers, if you take their starting offense, if they had to make a trade and they have to get rid of somebody that's currently on their roster or currently a starter, who would you be most likely to see go, and who would you be okay with going if it can help us land some more offense?
When you say starter, like starting pitcher?
No. Just a starting, like a fielder.
Okay.
Because I have a feeling we'll have to give up some pitching, and then I have a feeling we might have to give up. Here's my perfect example. If we had to give up Willie Adames or Luis Urias, we make one of them our everyday shortstop, and we'd have to give up one of them. Would you be good with giving up one of those guys?
I mean, I think.
Keep in mind, Adames isn't even hitting 200 right now.
I know. I think. I mean, at this point, they haven't really. Luis Urias started off the season really well in that, but yeah, I mean, there isn't a whole lot to like with this current thing, right? I mean, got to change it up at some point. So I'd be okay with it depending on the return.
Yeah, I don't. It's gonna.
I love Willie Adames.
I
love his energy and all that, but I want them to keep him, and I want him to be a Brewer for a long time. But I mean, if he's not going to produce, it's all about producing. And if guys aren't producing and they got to move on, I mean, come on, you got to take advantage of this flipping pitching staff. Because we're not going to have 3 aces like we have right now. We're not going to have a reigning Cy Young Award winner on an arbitration level for the next couple of years. It's just not going to happen that often. You got to take advantage of it, and I don't feel like they're doing that right now. And I know the Christian Yelich one.
It's frustrating.
Yeah, and I know Christian Yelich, they didn't predict that. They didn't see that coming, and that's still frustrating too. But I mean, still, come on. It's just at some point you got to stop waiting for something to happen, right? You just got to do it yourself. Talking about the front office.
Yeah, they need to do it. And to be honest, I mean, Omar Narvaez is our only guy sniffing 300, and he's batting 284. Our freaking catcher.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's hitting 250. They're all in the low 200s, or like I just said, Adames is what, 195. So they have to get some offense, and I do not want to see them wait until the trade deadline. Make a move now, because it has to happen. The thing is, and earlier this year, the Brewers were rolling, but we were also playing a lot of subpar teams. And now this part of the lineup came, and you said it a few weeks ago, we'll get a true test. Well, the true test is showing that the Brewers are failing.
Yeah.
So they got to generate some offense. And I don't think they've got it in their clubhouse right now. I don't think the offense is there.
Yeah.
So
kind of like what
something's got to be done. Otherwise, yeah.
No, I was just saying, kind of like what Stetsville Brad said, what you were kind of saying. If you get close to the trade deadline, you're going to have more teams that are going to be active at that trade deadline. So prices on players are going to go up. You have to do it now. Start making the moves now.
I agree.
Four times in the past 12 days, the Brewers have been shut out. 4 times in the past 12 days.
Yep. Can't blame pitching for that.
No.
So,
yeah,
they need to generate offense. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to try and remain optimistic, but it's looking like it's a little gloomy, and it's looking like training camp is going to be much more exciting. Hey, question for you. Are you going to do a show from training camp this year, Dan?
I don't know. I kind of want to, but, I was looking at, I would love to do it at one of those Packer houses, but we might need to get a group of people to go in to kind of help chip in on the bill. So, I don't know.
If we get a Packer house for training camp for a couple days, you can count me in. Hey, I'm pretty sure my wife's listening, so there's my request. Honey, I got to go to the Lambeau Field for training camp for a couple days. I'm going to stay with Dan.
I would love to do the show in the shadows of Lambeau Field. That's
would be great.
Bucket list right there.
There we go. Well, we did one from down the road from Lambeau Field a few years ago. We got to do that again. Jair Alexander, that's his first training camp day. We bring good luck.
We do. And I want to do it outside, though.
Show up.
That's, so we can see Lambeau.
We will do it outside if it's nice.
All right. Yeah, I know.
But we bring good luck. Come on, Midwest family.
Yeah. Surveyor interested, maybe. We can bring him along. So
I know G-Man's interested.
Probably.
All you got to do is say the word beer, and he's running.
All right, dude. Hey, be safe. I don't know if you're driving right now or if you made it to Hudson or wherever you're going. So we'll talk with you soon.
I'm a quick trip in Baldwin, man. I pull over to be safe.
That'll boy. All right. Thanks for the phone call, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for having me. Have a great day.
There you go. There's C-Bomb right there. So, see, G-Man said yes, sir, already. Not gonna lie, I was looking at some of those houses to rent right outside Lambeau Field for training camp. Training camp beginning on the 27th. Rookies are reporting a few days beforehand, but I was kind of looking at it, I'm like, ooh, how fun would that be to do a show first day of training camp in the shadows of Lambeau right off of Lombardi Avenue. One can dream. How can we make that happen, guys? How can we make that happen? We have to put our heads together on that one. But all right, the rest of you Brewers fans, are you as frustrated as a lot of us are right now with this team, or are you taking a little bit more of an optimistic approach? Let me know. Shoot me a text, 715-830-1912 on that Shoe Doctors bullpen line. Coming up next hour, we'll play a little match game about 7:25 or so. And don't forget to get your stock reports in. Grab yourself a coffee.
I see that. Holy man, not just a coffee. Did you have somebody practicing their barista skills?
Yeah.
You got
shout out Clay from Service Master.
Thank you, Clay. You got some fancy drinks here with whipped cream and everything. My goodness.
Grab one, man.
What a guy. Thanks, Clay.
I
know you guys are frustrated with the Brewers right now. I mean, who isn't? But I will say, in other team sports, staying in baseball, had a great experience with the Express. Over the weekend. I had a game. We're doing a little family thing. We're on the fan deck. And so Siggy, of course, she's a softball player, so she loves watching the game. You know how when you're learning sport, it's fun to watch all of a sudden because you kind of know what's going on. So her and her cousins were there running around. Now, remember, last year, we were headed to the Express game, and I look back, and the girl's got cleats on. She's 10 years old. I'm like, why are you wearing your cleats to the game? She's like, Mom, in case they need me. Okay.
That's awesome.
All right. So fast forward to this year, no cleats, but she's got her gloves. She's ready to go. So we're driving to the Express game. She's all jazzed up to watch, and she has her glove. We're sitting on the fan deck, and sure enough, boom, ball comes over. So she doesn't catch it, but she gets it, falls on the floor. She runs down and gets it. Smile a mile wide all day on the fan deck. She's so happy. And we had to leave, ironically enough, to get back for softball practice. So she gave the ball to my dad, who went and got it signed. Number 7, Charlie, was actually player of the game in that game on Sunday.
Nice.
Said he was the nicest kid, UW Stout grad, signed the ball, no problem. Thanks for coming to the game and all that too, which I think, every once in a while you hear so much gloom and doom and you get frustrated and you get down into that spiral and you just churn and lather yourself up with negativity. It's nice to pull out of that every once in a while and say, you know what? Little slice of Americana, apple pie, cold beer, baseball game, and some nice kids that are on the field doing good things and signing balls after the games. And it was just really nice to see. So shout out to the Express and to the people that were there kind of supporting the hometown team on Sunday. Fans were pretty full.
They got another walk-off win last night, so they're off to a good start this
season.
So
shift your attention away from the Brewers because there are baseball teams winning these days right at our own backyard at Carson.
All right, Morgs, enjoy your coffee, all right?
Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you, Clay. You're a good man.
You got it. All right, 1 in, 2 more to go. We'll kick it off with some sports nuggets and some sock reports coming up.
WAYY Eau Claire, W286CK Eau Claire, Sports Talk, 105.1, 790 AM. Sports Talk 105.1 with the very latest local news.
Well, it seems that the discussion is dried up. There won't be a new bottled water plant in Eau Claire. The company looking to build the new Niagara water plant on the city's northwest side pulled their proposal last night. The city council was set to vote on the idea. It doesn't look like they had enough votes. City council member Andrew Worthman, for example, says he didn't hear enough support for the plant, but was very concerned about Eau Claire's water supply, and there was a group that were more vocal about that. The plant would have been worth about $100 million. With that now off the table, we look to other headlines across our state, and that includes the grandmother of the teenager accused of killing Lily Peters, asking a judge for leniency. The boy's grandmother wrote a letter to the judge in the case this week saying she wants Chippewa County to try the teenager as a
Are tuning in, wherever you're tuning in. Coming up this hour, we're going to play a little match game at the about 20 past the hour, 25 past the hour. Still taking your texts on your state of mind for this Brewers team. We got another text that said, I've been optimistic for the last 4 years with the Brewers. It was like you said, at some point they need to take advantage of this pitching staff. So, all right, so I'm not the only one that's kind of in the dumps about this team. Hopefully they can switch it around and change it around, though. All right, let's do some sports nuggets. Where'd my sports nuggets go? Oh, gotta bring it back up here. So, all right, here we go. 1909, Benjamin Scheib was given the patent for the Cork Baseball Center. Okay, let's go with not a whole lot to go with. The New York Mets, 1977, dealt Tom Seaver to the Cincinnati Reds. 1980, Jack Nicklaus won his 4th U.S. Open title. 1993, Ken Griffey Jr. hit his 100th career home run, making him the 6th youngest to reach 100. 2005, the New York Yankees announced plans for a new $800 million stadium. Plans called for the building to be next to Yankee Stadium and be ready by the 2009 season. Those are just some of your sports nuggets here for this morning. We want your Stanley Cup predictions. We want your U.S. Open predictions. Easily the majority of you, going with Tampa Bay for the Stanley Cup. Kind of all over. We got a few in here for the U.S. Open. We got a Brooks. We got a Rory. We got a Scotty Scheffler. We got a Cameron. So it's kind of all over the place. Got a John Rahm as well. So get your picks in. Text it to us. Comment on the new video stream or Twitter, Facebook, all that wonderful stuff. Are you finally in there, big boy?
I'm here.
Okay.
Hi.
Running in just, you're not on Lombardi time, sir. No.
Baby.
Oh, at some point, though, that's gonna, you can't use that excuse anymore.
Well, I know.
Just saying, some point, you can't do that.
Well, I know.
You gotta come in here and grab a coffee, though. We got some iced coffee in here. Starbucks.
Oh, really?
Clay from Service Master.
Oh my gosh.
So why don't you, during the break here, come and grab some?
I will have to do that, yes. Mm-hmm. I mean, I literally woke up 16 minutes ago.
Holy moly, man.
Literally, I was like, I overslept the alarm. I'm like, okay, let's go.
Man, it's like lunchtime for me now.
I know. Yeah. When did you get up?
3.
Yeah, it is about lunchtime for you.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I literally was like, all right, so just get my clothes on, walk out the door, go.
I'm ready for, like a burger, some hot beef or something like that right now.
I'm
I don't
still
care, so.
pondering breakfast at this point.
No, that's my lunch right now.
Dang.
Mhm.
Like Bob
You
Both.
never get used to it though. That's the thing. It's like when that alarm went off, I'm like, oh,
no,
I'm ready for vacation.
Yeah, it's you're a night person.
I used to be a night person. Like, yeah, I would rather be in. Well, a lot of the games were on at night, so I gotta stay up and watch them because I can't go to bed without knowing what's not going on.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, there's about 3-4 hours.
Being a night person doing a morning sports talk show is not a good combination. And also because you kind of need to see what's going on to know what to talk about. But then there's that problem but then you have to sleep too.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you do that? Especially the NBA finals start at 8 o'clock. So they're not done till like 10:30, 11 o'clock.
Well, the best is Packer games.
Right.
Monday nights, Sunday nights.
Yeah, you're screwed for that.
Those are the worst ones because my adrenaline is running really high regardless of the win or loss. It's just running, and then I got to listen to the pressers, and then I got to find out injury updates.
It's not a good combo.
Those are the worst ones. That's why I don't like primetime games anymore.
Yeah.
Used to in college because like, all right, we're going out afterwards. I can skip class. That's fine.
Not anymore. And you got what 5 this year?
Yeah, the max, but they could add more depending on how the team does, up to 7. So living a dream. Jeff knows what I'm talking about. He takes days off the following day.
Is there any part of you, I mean, even the slightest percentage that's going, Aaron Rodgers, maybe you could just leave. We can go Jordan Love. We can go
so we can be crappy, so we can get a bunch of new games like the Lions.
Yeah, be 6-11 for a season just for a refresher. Is there any part of you that's kind of
6-11 might be a little optimistic?
Okay, so 3-14. Go back to 1988 era. Is there any part of you that's kind of going, yeah, but that'd be okay?
No.
You had to think about it though.
No,
you did there's like a split second of that. That's just a tiny bit of that. Yes,
it'll come. I know it'll come. So, but living in the moment right now.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay.
Living in a moment. Might be the final year. Might be 2 more years. Who knows?
Thought
it was last year, so here we go.
Midnight football. Awesome.
But the thing is, even like the first year, whoever the next quarterback is, I wouldn't be surprised if they still got a few primetime because everybody's got to see who they are.
Well,
and then it'll get flexed out at halfway through the season. So,
yes, that's exactly. It'll be like the first Jordan Love game as starter or whomever it is, and yeah, that's actually probably what is going to end up happening. They'll have 2 of them. There'll be one game like the Packer Bear game will be in because it's the Packer Bear game, and that'll probably be it.
It was kind of like because I was at Rodgers' first start against Minnesota, and that was the first Monday night game of the opening weekend, and that was like the 6 o'clock game. That wasn't bad. I drove back to school the next later that night, so that wasn't too bad. But then that was there wasn't really anything else after that.
Yeah, it's not the worst.
No. I did get pulled over though. That was fun. So
okay,
right on Water Street,
like right as you were coming home.
Yeah,
so you're like within blocks,
literally. But I think they were wondering why is there somebody driving down Water Street like right after bar close on Monday night sort of thing. I didn't get a ticket or anything, but
yeah, all right, that makes
apparently
sense.
I kind of like I was think it was trying to catch the light.
Oh, they're gonna catch that stuff.
I've gotten caught more times at that intersection. Now I don't know what it's like anymore, but yeah, there was one time too. I was going to intramurals and I tried catching the light, got pulled over. That was my bugaboo there. That was the light, like where the kids go across for college too. By the tennis courts down there.
Yeah,
that you know what I'm talking about.
Right by the river. Yeah,
always trying to catch the light.
Never a good thing. Right about that time. That's just
But never gotten a ticket in my life. So
that's
been pulled
awesome.
over a few times in my life, but never gotten one.
Never.
Now watch Philly Fan Day is going to pull me over and give me something. So that's just
I've never been pulled over for speeding or anything. The only time I've ever been pulled over is because the light being out on the back, which again, you don't know. You're like, what did I do? And they're like, oh, my light's out. Oh, okay.
Did you ever get detention in school, Lucas?
No. I did. The closest that ever happened was once I got really angry at some kid and like
you got angry at some kid
at one time.
What? How
seventh
old were you?
grade? Come on, everyone's weird in 7th grade. And got like lunch. I don't know. You can call it detention. It's like you get thrown over to the side of the lunchroom at South Middle School.
Ooh.
I know, big time. No, never was in detention. No.
Wow. I want to see angry Luke. I want to see angry 7th grade Luke.
That's not the greatest look, but that's also because it's a 7th grade angry. 7th grade anything is not a good look.
I loved my 2 favorite years were 7th and 8th grade.
Really?
Loved 7th and 8th
You're
grade.
the opposite. Those are my 2 worst years. Hated it.
I was thinking about this the other day, actually, like your favorite memories of games when you were playing. I loved 8th grade hoops. That was probably my favorite time of playing organized sports was 8th grade. Don't know why. It was just I had so much fun.
Really?
Yep.
Interesting.
So much fun. 7th grade, same thing. Loved 7th and 8th grade.
That's fascinating. I mean, most everybody I've talked to, like anyone I know, whatever, they hate their middle school years.
Oh,
they're like, oh gosh, blah, 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 blah. They can't stand them. I think you're not that there's anything wrong with them, but I think you're the first person I've talked to who's been like, yeah,
6th grade,
it.
hated it. 5th grade, loved. So, because our middle school in Medford was 5 through 8.
Okay.
So we have the elementary school that was K through 4. Middle school was 5 through 8. Then high school 9 through 12.
Okay.
5th, loved. 6th, hated. 7th, 8th, loved.
Interesting.
Loved them.
See, I only had 2 years of middle school, but that was a fluke of the Eau Claire area school district switching over. Anyone who's been around long enough remembers when they went from the junior high system to the middle school system. And in 1990, they went from elementary school was K through 6, junior high was 7 through 9, and high school was 10 through 12. And then in 1990, it switched to what it is today. Well, I was in 6th grade the year before, up through 1990. So I went to middle school for 7th grade, but then I only had to spend 2 years there. And I've always thought that is one of the most fortunate circumstances of my I don't want to say childhood because that sounds way too dramatic, but I was lucky that I only had to spend 2 years in middle school because because then you're going from your core of group. Well, like, okay, I'm sure it's different in Medford because you're kind of around your same class. In a place like Eau Claire, you have your own class kids coming up through elementary, and then suddenly it gets like times 8 and all these other people, and that gets really strange when you're 13 years old and you're a nerd kid. Uh-oh.
We kind of had that 6th and 7th grade. So 6th grade, like Stetsonville, when I was in schools, Stetsonville had like K through 5, and then once they got up 6th through high school, they had to go to Medford. So we had an influx, and then I think it was 7th grade, Holy Rosary, they had to go. Might have been Emmanuel Lutheran too. I can't remember off the top of my head, but no, that was
really.
I think. Well, you know what? What was everybody else's favorite year in school? K through 12. Let's make it K through 12.
I mean, I can tell you right now, 6th grade was my absolute favorite. Okay. The last year at the old Arlington Heights Elementary, now the North English wing from Memorial High School.
I did not like basketball in 6th grade because a lot of it had to deal with the coaches.
Okay, that's probably a big part of it. It depends on your teachers.
Yeah.
In my case, most awesome teacher I ever had was my 6th grade teacher at Arlington Heights Elementary. That was Mr. Blanton. Was awesome, and that was my absolute favorite year. But yeah, if you have a teacher, and now of course after you go to middle school, high school gets a little different because you have way more teachers involved. But that makes a lot of difference in who you have.
Yeah. Like 6th grade, I just remember basketball. It was so unorganized. Like we had different jerseys every game and all that. So it was like, oh, are they actually like, do they care? Sort of thing. 8th grade was probably my favorite. 3 sports. And at that time, the only fall sport, if you were they had volleyball for the girls, but for the guys, I think it was either cross country or flag football. So I did the football, did the basketball, and then the only spring sport they had for 8th graders for boys was track and field. I hated track and field, but I won that 3-sport medal. So, and I got it. I should dig that thing out because it's a pride thing right there. No, 8th grade for me. And there's probably no coincidence to it. That, I mean, you know, the age you're going through. Yeah, I had a couple girlfriends too. So there you go.
Oh, yeah.
Technically, one of them I haven't broken up with yet. So.
Well, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Does Veronica know this?
Oh, yeah. We've talked about
Okay.
that, yeah.
So it's
It
just.
was just one of those. It was summer vacation. It's like, all right, done talking. It made it really awkward for 4 years in high school after that.
So this kind of, and not to make light of war, but is this kind of like the Korean War where technically it's never actually ended? It's still active.
Yep.
Like 70 years later.
The official letter on the bus was never passed out. Anybody know? Yeah, anybody. You guys know what I'm talking about. You got that letter on the bus?
Yeah. You're married and you're still technically dating somebody else.
From 8th grade.
That's great.
Yeah. It was just it was just I don't know what happened, but
Let's see.
it was mostly me. I'll admit it. It was all me. It was like, no, I'm done.
So that's like 1999, 2000 era.
It was 2000, yeah. Yep.
Okay, so you didn't have. I'm trying to think of which songs you could have used for breakup songs that year.
Was NSYNC's Bye Bye Bye?
Yes, yes, that was exactly that time. Did you ever play that for her?
No.
Because I was good. That
literally
could count.
stopped talking. I stopped talking. That was, yeah.
This is when we need Morgan in here.
Just literally stopped. I wanted to avoid it at all costs.
You ghosted her in
that's
person.
it. Yeah, ghosted. Yep.
In-person ghosting. Wow, that's harsh.
I know. I didn't have a heart. I don't know. Yeah. It was, but no, 8th grade was easily my favorite year.
Okay, that's fine.
Loved it for hoops and all that stuff, but
and you ended up with a permanent girlfriend. So there you go.
That'll make it awkward if we ever run into each other at a class reunion or something like that. So I said 4 years and you have some classes, really awkward, but
yeah,
probably more awkward for me.
Yeah, probably.
C-Bomb, senior year, high school, by far best year. Why? So because that was your last year of school, so you didn't have to go anymore?
Wow.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I've honestly, and I'll admit, I never had detention either.
Honestly, like most.
I was close. I threw a snowball, and our gym. One of my gym teachers was not happy about it.
Yeah.
The guy. Okay, it was my buddy, like Jordan, and he was going to the buses, and he pushed me to the snowbank, so I retaliated and threw a snowball. Made the mistake of doing it in front of all those teachers, but I hit him with snowballs, so that was worth it.
The thing is, too, though, I like most everyone I knew at Memorial, and again, we're talking like class of like 300 people, but like I think the number of kids who in my class that were in detention was like maybe 9 or 10, and those are like the troublemaker ones. You knew like, okay,
I had a restricted study hall one year.
Yeah, like you'd get that sort of stuff,
Yeah,
or like name on the board if you're in elementary school, like that sort of thing. But like detention, oh no. I mean, that's for.
Oh, I've had my name on the board plenty of times in elementary school. Plenty of times.
See, that was a thing for me. 6th grade, I was like, I'm not gonna get.
Do they still do that in elementary school? Do they put the kids' names on the boards if they're?
We
in
were
trouble?
talking about this on the radio at some point. It might have been on this show, and I was curious if they still were, like. Because yeah, like 6th grade, and this is not the reason why the 6th grade was my favorite year, but I was determined not to have that, and I did not get my name written up on the board at all my 6th grade. I wasn't the only one. There were like several others that pulled it off too, but I'm like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And I got to the whole year. I'm like, yeah, no name on the board. Woo!
Oh yeah. Oh, good times, good memories. Wish we could go back. I'm really curious though. Is that how they still do the kid's name on the board? Is that a thing? Maybe I need to try that with my kid.
I mean, it's like subtle public shaming. I think it's okay.
Oh gosh, yeah, it's public shaming.
I mean, it's shaming, but it's not like the word, because like your name gets added to others, so it's not like you're singling out one person. Sometimes you end up with those days where like the teacher's having a bad day and there's like 9 names on the board in a class of 30. You're like, oh, this is just not going well.
I hope this one teacher's not listening, because I know sometimes they do. But there was one teacher I had. You had a messy desk. You'd come back from recess and that thing's tipped over.
Oh,
You left your locker open.
wow.
You left your locker open. Things were taken.
That's, I don't want to say that's like rude or mean or anything. That's
Hey,
an
you know what?
overstatement, but
I
wow.
had a messy desk all the time. I deserved it. It was bad in there. All right. I was one of those that I could, assignments. Nope, stick them in the books. I'm not using my my trapper keeper. I'm not using my folders. Just fold them up or whatever and put them in the book. I was so unorganized. I never kept a planner. Nothing.
Wow.
So I can't blame them. I was, yeah.
You were the messy kid.
When it came to that stuff, yeah. But
to each their own. And you end up with good stuff tipped over. I mean, it happens.
Oh yeah, that was embarrassing. And I never learned. So
We should have Alex Edwards go into your office and just start tipping stuff over.
it's organized in there. His is more messy than mine.
Actually, you should do that to him.
Yeah.
For those that don't quite know, it's just Alex Edwards, from Wax 104.5. His office, not the cleanest in the building.
He's gotten better.
He has, but I would say of everyone's offices, of all the assorted DJs from all the radio stations in our building, I think it's kind of. I think his is the okay. John Murphy's easily has the most stuff. I mean, come on, he might as well have his own building. He's got so much stuff, but it's like a massively
stuff he doesn't need. That's the thing. He keeps notebooks for everything.
Paper.
Yeah.
Lots of paper. It's like that picture. Okay, not quite like that picture. The picture that was going around online the other day showing like the professor from the mid 80s, and he's got like 10 feet stacked, 10-foot high stacks of books, but like 20 stacks like all surrounding his office desk, and he's like buried inside it's like a little pearl inside an oyster was like where he's sitting. Okay, that's not quite Murph, but it's in the ballpark of that considering this building. But at least it's like an organized mess. They're like organized stacks and everything. It's just a ton of stuff. Alex's stuff is like all over the place. There's not nearly as much, but it's messy.
I mean, for example, and I know we got to take a break so we can get the match game. We had a mannequin running around here.
Yep. True story. There's been the mannequin parts.
It's my mannequin. I don't know if anybody knows that. That's mine.
Really?
Yeah, because when I lived in Rapids and I had a man cave down there, I bought a pair of game used Packer pants, and then I had an extra Donald Driver jersey, so I made a mannequin. But now I have no use for a mannequin because it's creepy, so I brought it here, and that's why the golf jacket in here, that's half the mannequin with that stand over here. So that's half the mannequin, but the legs part, because it's got a stand, legs and the top never matched. They don't go together. So I always had to balance it, but now I don't need it. So I just threw it in Alex's office, and it's just kind of been like around here. So
you've seen like random legs sticking out of the ceiling.
Yep.
No lie. Like people will come in, they're like, "What?" I'm like, no.
Yeah.
It's just
so
usual.
that's all me. That's mine.
Now I know the rest.
I think
of the
the arms are actually in my attic yet to this thing. I think they're still in the attic. So there's pieces all over the place.
Oh,
but yeah, I had a Donald Driver mannequin back in my old man cave.
Donald Driver.
Mm-hmm. Even I had the green socks and everything too. So.
Oh gosh.
Mm-hmm. And it wasn't two pieces that didn't match up. It was just balancing there. So you touched it, it fell off. Like couldn't touch Donald. So all right.
Wow, okay.
We got a few texts to catch up on. We'll get to that. Plus match game coming up in just a couple minutes. All right, catching up on a couple of texts. C-Bomb said he was a captain in 3 sports, 2 food classes all year. Curfew disappeared. Dated a college girl. I was loving life. That I call
What?
yeah, bull. And I was thinking maybe it's because he actually had hair probably back then.
Whoa.
Just,
Wow.
Living a Dream Jeff, I missed half the year of recess. Apparently, the teacher didn't appreciate me talking so much in 3rd grade. Surveyor, Knapp Elementary growing up, we had to stand in the corner and remain silent until you were called back. It was only 5 minutes, but it felt like forever. Oh, yeah. You remember getting sent to the corner? You probably never got sent to the corner. Have you ever? I got sent to the corner. That was embarrassing.
Let's see. I don't think so. I don't remember, honestly, but I don't think so.
Oh, I think I was mostly like at the babysitters. I was sent to the corner. Sucked. Because you're just staring at the wall and then everybody's looking at you.
Yeah, come to think of it, no. Well, okay, I don't want to say definitively no, because that's going way back, and so that's covering every recess or whatever circumstance. So I don't know, to be fair.
Name on the board, standing in the corner. I remember in 4th grade, our teacher had the word recess written on the chalkboard, and every time a letter was erased, we were getting close to getting like 10 minutes cut. And if it was completely erased, we lost 10 minutes. So after lunch, we'd have to sit there quietly in our desks. That was bad too.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, actually, okay. When I do remember going to sit out in the hallway, that did happen to me. 4th grade, I was very insistent that the word ZOOLOGY
Zoology?
was pronounced zoology. Not zoology.
Okay.
And I made a point of like, no, it's zoology.
How dare you, Luke Anthony?
And here's the irony, because there's probably some folks who know me know I've become like not intense grammar Nazi over time. Like I'm the one who'll be like, dangling participle, stop it. But I was wrong. Like it's zoology. And I'm like, no, teacher, you're wrong. It's zoology. So she said, no, you're going down the hall. I went on the hall.
How dare you?
I know. I was very insistent. I was angry, and I was also wrong too.
You rebel.
Yeah.
That man
Took it to the
to the corner. Think about what you did.
Go in the hallway. Yeah, I can still remember sitting out in the hallway on the hard linoleum of the Arlington Heights Elementary School hallway.
How dare you?
It's so it still seems weird.
Yeah, Mrs. Walhart was the one who had the recess one on there. It was just, that was bad too.
When you did miss recess because of the other kids, no, that did suck. You're just like, really?
Yeah, I mean, come on. We were game planning the football game plan at lunch.
I mean, and I get the meaning for it, because it's supposed to make all the other kids be like, hey, you guys shape up. Now you're hurting us too. I mean, I guess it worked a little
Best
bit. But
in-class school game ever played. Just jumping right into it. You know, like when I say in class, you could play it in class, not at recess.
Okay.
Heads up, 7-Up, man.
Ooh.
Remember that one?
Yeah, I'm gonna say that because I didn't remember too many, but yes. So I'm if only by default, because that's the only one I can think of. But that was pretty fun.
Heads up, 7-Up.
Yes, Heads up, 7-Up.
Or Duck, Duck, Goose. That's the other one. I'd pick that one.
See, I did that one outside. We never did that in class.
You do it like in gym class or something.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think it was our freshman football team would do that for practice. Somebody ended up tearing their ACL, and I think that was the end of it.
You had the NFL beach volleyball thing happen on Duck, Duck, Goose.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Well, I mean, you go after the guy, so it's it's not just like tag, you have to tackle. So, but all right. Next one. Oh, this is like staring me in the face, Luke. So this isn't really a match game, but I got to ask your thoughts.
Okay.
Training camp opens on the 27th of July.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at a Packer house to rent for the opener of training camp. Right on Lombardi Ave. I don't know if I should do it.
How much?
I need a few people.
That's my determining thing with all of us.
Only if I can get a few people to go with, and I just don't know if I can get a few people to go with. But
by a few people, are we talking like 3? Are we talking 10?
No, I would say, 6 would be ideal, including me. So like 5 more. But I think we can get away with just doing like 3 more.
Okay.
It's not that bad when you divide it that way.
Okay.
But I mean, how cool would it be to do so? Literally, the backyard is facing where the players and the bikes would be going.
Okay, so here's how you pull this off then. You're doing the show. You've now made this a commercial venture involving your employer, who happens to be an employer that sells advertising sponsorships. So what you do is you talk to the financial higher-ups around here. By financial, I mean the sales reps, and get someone to talk to a client, perhaps one that's listening to the show right now, to sponsor Dan Kasper live from a house across from training camp.
And they can have their logo in the backyard by a Lambo where everybody's driving by.
High visibility. And I don't think the Packers have any rules about that.
No, because this is a house.
And you get to go free. Heck, at that point, you probably could go solo if you really, really wanted to, because your whole way is getting paid. How much money is this?
I'm not telling you because.
Okay, how many figures?
Well, if you divide it, if you divide it, it would only be like 3 figures. So you're talking.
Okay.
Like,
okay. I got a ballpark.
Bucks.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yes,
for 2 nights, a couple $100 a person for 2 nights.
I think it's kind of like it's like an Airbnb at that point.
It is. It's actually an Airbnb website.
Well, there you go. All right. So I think that's your solution here.
Now I didn't think about the logo thing on like Lombardi Ave.
Right. There are a couple football aware sales representatives account executives who work in this building who would probably assist you with that. Granted, one of them is a Raiders fan and one of them is a Falcons fan, but they get it. They could probably find some business that would be willing to latch onto that. I think you could do this. And you would not have to spend any money other than probably gasoline driving over. And even then, that might be covered by the station. I mean, this granted, our GM might look at gas prices and be like, yeah, no, dude, Dan, you're paying your own way.
I need to hire you, I think, as our PR marketing nerd.
What am I saying? Come on, I've got all these ideas.
Hey, Ari Fleischer over there. I like this.
Well, okay, so I am kind of losing my hair, and I do have glasses.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess I'm not a diehard Yankees fan, though. So there is that one difference there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think that's what you need to do.
Oh, all right.
Yep, you can do this.
You're motivating me, man.
You can do this. Find a sponsor. There's an advertiser out there just dying to be part of Packer training camp. And Dan Kasper.
Like, it's open now. I just got a feeling now that everybody knows the dates, it might not be.
See, so you got to move fast.
Yeah. Hey, Seabon, put it on your credit card.
Put in a reservation for it and not okay. Buy it now.
We got 48 hours to cancel if we have to.
Well, and then you have some really strong motivation to find a sponsor.
Mm-hmm. Seabon, put it on your credit card, man.
Okay.
Put it on your credit card. All right. Next game. Who are you picking for the Stanley Cup final?
Colorado.
Oh!
So is this a weird thing? Because Colorado is freaking good. They are, oh my gosh. The one thing that they don't have, Tampa Bay has, is Andrei Vasilevsky. Vasilevsky is just, I mean, he's basically the Patrick Waugh of our time. He's so good. He's going to be a Hockey Hall of Famer, clearly. And Tampa Bay's got experience, but man, the Avalanche are playing like, they are a well-oiled machine right now. They're zooming through everyone.
Any concern, though, that they've had a long layoff?
That is the one thing, but that was the same thing that happened to Tampa Bay. Yeah. Tampa Bay had like 9 days off. They lose the first 2 games of the Rangers, and they win 4 straight. I would not be shocked if the Lightning win game 1, and I don't think it's going to matter. I do think this is going to be a long series, and I wouldn't like I'm about 55-45 Colorado. But in fact, I would probably pick Tampa Bay under almost any other circumstance. The pedigree, the talent on that team, that probably be enough for just about anyone else out of the West. But Colorado's looked so good. They performed so well between McKinnon, Makar. There's the goalie situation may be the one, and even then it's okay. So I think they're gonna pull this one off. But these are gonna be good games. I don't know that we're gonna see 9-6 kind of games. I also don't think you're gonna see 6-2 games either. I think you're gonna get a lot of closer games that get a decent amount of scoring as well, like maybe 5-4. but Colorado's good enough that I do think they end up now. The Nazem Kadri loss for Colorado, that's going to hurt, but I don't think that's enough for them to lose it. So I take Colorado in. I want this to go 7, but I think it's going to be Colorado in 6.
I'm going Tampa. 3 in a row. If they win 3 in a row, we got to give them some love. I mean, that's pretty impressive.
That
isn't
is, I mean, that's a dynasty. My usual rule is once you get to like 3 in a row or like 3 in 5 years, I think you could actually call the Giant just as an example, the San Francisco Giants of the early 2010s. I would call that a dynasty, and it's a weird one because their even years their odd years weren't that great actually, but they still won it 3 out of 5 years. I think the Warriors, I would say what they did in the late 2010s was a dynasty. This would be a dynasty for Tampa Bay. Saw the stat last night. The Lightning are the first team coming off back-to-back wins, going for a three-peat, that have gone past the second round in that attempt for a three-peat since the New York Islanders in the early 80s when they won 4 in a row. It's been that long since a team won back-to-backs and then got as far as the conference finals, say nothing of the Stanley Cup finals. So this is long drought territory that the Lightning are doing right now.
No kidding. But yeah, I think it's kind of quiet. Like, hey, they're going for 3 in a row here. I'm going for it. I'm going Tampa. They get it done.
Would not. I mean, I think I don't want to say people have been doubting the Lightning, but I mean, they're a little bit of a weaker team. They lost like a whole line of players last year. That's not good, but they had to after a certain amount of time. And they keep finding ways to win.
Who wins tonight?
Even with the layoff, I do think Colorado does hold on. This is different than like the Rangers Lightning series. I think Colorado pulls it off tonight. But I'm looking forward to this one.
It'll be good.
Yeah.
U.S. Open pick.
Oh boy. Can I just keep saying live golf? I'll go Scheffler.
Gonna go Scotty.
Yeah, I feel like now he's kind of due for another win. Like if he's on a roll, and I'm in a broad like year-long sense, this is the tournament where you're going to want to get that other win, because I don't know if you're going to get it at St. Andrews, and then that's it. So I'm going to say Scheffler, and not that I'm going to be like disappointed if he doesn't. I mean, unless he doesn't make the cut, then okay, what's up? But I'm going to say Scotty Scheffler.
I'm going to go Cameron Smith. Oh, Cameron Smith on mine. But I want I'm turning into a Rory fan, so I want a little drama. I want Rory and DJ in the final pairing in the final round.
Oh boy, Rory is just like, bleep it. I'm going all in on this live golf thing. You guys suck.
Yeah.
I mean, wow. I would expect that from the PGA commissioner, but Rory McIlroy,
maybe he saw an opportunity to be like, hey, I can be everybody's new favorite golfer. And then, because, he's going with the public perception and all that. So he's like, hey, I'm going to be I think he's getting positive feedback from the majority of fans.
Yes, I think so. I think it helps that the whole Saudi money thing is looming over this. So people that, if you're determining if either you're kind of casual on this or if it's a moral issue for someone, you're probably falling on the side of the PGA Tour. And the more that I think about this, the more this is, the more that the PGA Tour doesn't look that great, because it's that whole like, well, we're the only game in town. You just have to go with us. It's a little bit Monopoly sort of stuff. So the PGA isn't exactly like sisters of the poor here, and then suddenly in comes massive evil corporation. Not exactly here. But I think the PGA is going to get a lot of the default sympathies, or not sympathies, but that's where the rooting interest is going to lie. And I don't know if that's necessarily the case with Rory McIlroy. I don't know if he's going on it because he's a PGA loyalist. And some people are loyalists to certain organizations, and it doesn't really seem clear, but for them, maybe it's because of what that organization has done for them. Opportunities, the people involved. There's all sorts of stuff. It could be that. Maybe he's really upset by the Saudi thing. Maybe he just wants one organization. And he's like, why are you all leaving? We have a good thing. What are you doing, golfers? But it's kind of fun seeing him being like the guy that's just like, all right, screw you. I'm going all in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's not holding back at all.
No. That would be funny if it were Dustin Johnson and Rory McIlroy.
Mm-hmm. Or even like Rory or Phil somehow gets to it.
Oh gosh.
That would really draw some.
Oh man.
Draw some ratings right there, huh? Oh.
I want to say, okay. I'm of the era where right as I started following golf, the two biggest names, now that I think about this, circa 1980, I don't want to say following golf because I couldn't stand golf when I was younger because I thought it was boring when I was like 8, 9 years old. But when I first started hearing about golf and who are good golfers, so this is like 1985, 86, 87, the biggest names for me were Jack Nicklaus and Greg Norman. And this is, of course, at the very end of Nicklaus's career, because, of course, the 86 Masters, I don't remember watching that, but I just knew Jack Nicklaus was like the best golfer in the world. But Greg Norman, I think.
I had a Greg Norman Sega game.
I think I had a Greg Norman shirt, one of those.
One of the Sharks.
Yeah, I think I had that for a little while. But it was given to me. I didn't go out and buy it, but it was like, oh, that's cool. But I think because I don't know who was number one in the rankings and in the late 80s, but I think Norman was like maybe the best ranked. And Nicklaus was the best in general, even if he was older. So I always associate them. And plus, they kind of looked alike, somewhat, at the time, somewhat longerish blonde hair. Like they didn't have like crew cuts or anything. So there was that. And I'm putting those things together because I'm 8. So I kind of associate the two as being one of the same. I love to see those two somehow be on the same.
It wasn't Sega. It was Nintendo. My bad.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to. My Sega one was Arnold Palmer. That's what it was. Yep.
Level of interest with no Tiger Woods on a scale of 1 to 10.
Personally,
yes.
It's actually still higher because I want to see drama.
Okay.
Because of the drama surrounding this whole.
If Live Golf hadn't happened, and mind you, we were talking about this like weeks ago that he was probably not going to do the U.S. Open, so he could be ready for the Open.
Yeah. No, it's down.
Okay.
It is. But I'm excited to see that course because that course has a lot of history. Country Club. I like
Country
it's
Club.
So generic of a name, but yet it's so awesome. The Country Club. Like it's the Country Club.
Kind
the
of
country
like
club of country clubs.
Kind of like the Open Championship.
Yeah.
Like you're almost like you almost have
That's
to
why
say
I hate. I know you're supposed to say the Open, but everybody's but it's the British Open, but it's the Open.
Right. Like for the longest time I called it the British Open until wasn't it about like 5 years ago that it started going around like, guys,
it's the Open.
We've all got it wrong.
Yep.
But it still sounds weird just to say that because it can be so generic.
I don't want to get confused with everybody like the U.S. Open or something.
Yeah. Is this tennis? Open. Are we talking about?
Yeah.
Which one is this?
Exactly.
But that's what it is. Like the Country Club. Which one? No, the one in Brookline.
Mm-hmm. The Country Club at Brookline.
Side note: speaking of Massachusetts stuff? Have you seen the most Massachusetts report ever that's been going around Twitter?
No.
Yeah. It's a news story. It's a kind of a mocking news story, but it's from a Boston station. It's about this chain of stores on one avenue, and like one of them is going out, and so there's it's kind of making fun of, well, this one avenue is closing, so you have to go to the other one that's like 3 blocks down the road. But all the interviews, oh my gosh,
is it Boston?
Oh, it's Boston. Okay. Yes, it's one of those.
Gotcha.
Isn't that like the go-to now? It's like the most Massachusetts. That's like the one region of our country we always go to now when we're looking for accents and curiosity stuff. It's Boston. And yes, like I said, the accents are in this one. Something about dinosaurs on the tar pit.
The
tar pit, but he calls it the top it. Yeah. Oh, it's there.
That's the only one I can
go
say.
Look for most Massachusetts news story. It's 49 seconds. It's worth your time.
All right. I will. I'm going to do that.
I'm going to go to our resident Massachusetts guy, Scorch, and ask him what he thinks about it.
Well, Morgan went to school in Boston.
Yeah, right. She went to Emerson, so she would know. I should ask her about, Yeah.
Yeah. That's the only one I can do.
He'd be so pathetic going into Boston. Like, hey, do you guys say "ka"? Got guys from South. He just like I can't say what they would say.
Right.
I'd get fined.
Yeah, don't do that. Okay, we got to take a break. And then coming up just past 8 o'clock, we got stock reports. Plus, we're giving away gas for your tank. Find out who wins.
The Dan Kasper Show will be right back after these words.
All right, we only got a couple minutes to the top of the hour here, so we'll get to some stock reports. Whose stock is rising? Whose stock is falling? In just a few minutes. Right before that, we will announce the first winner of $50 in gas from our good friends at River Country Co-op. Locations, they're all over Athens, Bloomer, Boyd, Cadott, Chippewa, Dorchester, Eau Claire, Gilman, Edgar, Greenwood, Holcomb, Jim Falls, Merrill, New Auburn, Prairie Farm, Sheldon, Weyerhaeuser, all over the place. So make sure you're tuning into that. And if you don't win, don't worry. We got other chances too. Just head to our website, sportstalk1051.com. Click on the Nation tab, and you can enter for free right there. And it's really simple. It'll take you just a few seconds to enter. So make sure you go ahead and do that. Okay, we don't. C-Bomb has gone silent, so I don't know what's going on there. Dave, just imagine if the Boston Bruins were the Blackhawks. I'm assuming how to say it.
Oh gosh,
I can't do it. I can't do that. No, I'm trying to do it in my mind.
the Boston accent.
The one accent I wish I could really do was Scottish. I think I've talked about that before. Wish I could be Scottish.
So like I'm good with like English accents. I've been fascinated by Boston accents, but I can't really do it. And that's one of those, again, if you get it wrong, people will call you out pretty easily.
Oh, Dropkick Murphys. Yeah.
We're getting really stereotypical Boston.
This song's gonna be in my head all day now. Thanks, Luke. Appreciate it. Yep, that's. You know what? Now I'm gonna get copyright flagged on YouTube because you played this.
Pulse of the Nation.
Oh, come on, I do miss that segment.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, every so often, Rosillo in his pod or SVP in his pod will just drop a Boston thing or something, and it comes out of nowhere. It's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, which is weird because Van Pelt's from Maryland. Oh, he's got a good Maryland accent. Like, he doesn't talk that way normally, but he can drop into a Maryland accent, which is a lot of O's.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to kind of, if it's one of those, if you know, you know.
Yeah.
Rosillo's from like Cape Cod or something, so he doesn't talk with an accent, but he's got it.
Yeah.
It's like us was like from Western Wisconsin. Any of us, no matter how much, like if we're DJs, we've kind of killed off our accents. Oh, if we need to go back into the accent, it can come out, then. It's there.
All right, quick break. Then we'll do some stock reports, hand out some gas. Eau Claire Regis getting ready to face Oakfield at state baseball. And getting underway at about 8 o'clock. So
early baseball.
Early baseball. All right, 2 in, 1 more to go. We'll be back in just a couple minutes.
WAYY Eau Claire. W286CK Eau Claire.
But we're saving money. Well, I mean, yeah, we are. It's just you can't use the scooter.
Mm-hmm.
She'll be too happy about that.
Yeah, don't do that.
No,
don't do that. So, oh man. All right, you're right. Yeah, that would be if we did stock reports, your stock would be down. So I'll lead it off with stock reports. Again, congrats to Greg. We'll put it in the mail for you if you're listening. I'll shoot you an email, but we'll give away some more in the next couple days. Okay, so keep listening. Sign up again. SportsTalk1051.com. Click on that Nation tab. All right, stock reports. I'll kick it off. Down. Our resident Atlanta Falcons fan, Eric.
Okay.
He sent me a screenshot. Apparently, he rated Lambeau Field with a 1 star. Said overrated, too cramped, no roof. You know, dude. You live in Wisconsin, and you know you're complaining about roofs on stadiums and that crap.
Too cramped, no roof.
You know, go move to Georgia. Go move to Georgia, okay? Go, just do it. Do us all a favor. Go move to Georgia.
I'm sorry, that's actually kind of funny.
Just go ahead and do it. You know, whatever. You know, just bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Wow.
See ya. He's still upset probably about the whole Favre thing. That's what it's got to be.
Oh my gosh.
Haters gonna hate. It's gonna be a long
but
few years in Atlanta
still
before they're
cites-
relevant.
Dude still cites the 2002 playoffs. The Vic game
Oh
at
Lord.
Lambeau.
Yeah. Congratulations. All right, good job.
Yeah.
How about the 2011 playoffs?
How about 2016
How about like
playoffs?
when Wayne Larrivee, not since Sherman, came down with the Union Army?
That
was a sweet call.
That was you got to be careful when you use that.
I know, but that's what do you remember that when he said that?
Vaguely.
Yeah.
I mean, I was watching the TV broadcast, but I think I heard of it around that time. Like, whoa.
Yeah. He went all, but I think was it when you and I went to the WBA broadcasters and Wayne and Larry were there? Didn't Wayne say something about Atlanta fans were like his least favorite?
I don't remember. I remember being there because we were in like the.
I think that's.
Like
I'm not
like
just saying this to say.
where they had it.
Yeah, I'm not saying it to say it. I am pretty sure he said that.
Now, was he saying that about Atlanta fans because that was back when Atlanta fans had the strong reputation of just not being strong fans in general?
I think it was like very fair weather type is what he was getting at.
So I think it's changed some over time. I think they're getting better. It probably helps that like the Braves have gotten better again. They got a soccer team that can it got pretty good right out of the gates and could actually fill a football stadium. Hawks have gotten better. Falcons were getting more competitive. So I think overall, I have to use my terms with the Falcons a little carefully, considering what's happened to them on the highest stage.
I'm just more competitive.
More competitive. Like, I mean, they're not bad, but there was that one game.
They're gonna be bad for a while.
Yeah, they're not in a good spot right now. The thing is, I actually thought of. Not that we're going to go all in on Atlanta sports fandom. And the thing is, our sales rep who we're talking about, our account executive.
How does one become an Atlanta Falcons fan?
He explained it, and I can't remember why. We'll have to ask him. He's from around here. He's not from Georgia. He's not from the South.
He should go to Georgia.
To my knowledge, he has no connections. I think he became a fan.
Ray Charles, Georgia.
It's one of those where like he became a fan
Georgia.
He became a fan for some other reason, and I don't quite remember what
was it for Favre?
It might have.
Was it for Chris Chandler?
Oh gosh, I'm having dirty bird.
Was it for Jeff George?
Was it for Billy White Shoes Johnson?
Probably Jamal Anderson.
Oh gosh, now I'm having bad flashbacks. Ugh.
There you go. You're welcome.
Stop, please.
Hey, don't worry. They got dominated in the Super Bowl after that. So
I was very happy to see that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Broncos. Thank you, Eugene Robinson. Stock faller. Yeah, it's true. Stock falling for me. I mean, I almost did it last weekend. I'll just say it. Professional Golfers Association.
Oh, but you're not okay. Explain, because you're not all about the live tour though.
No,
too, right?
I don't like the live thing though. I think it might have been like one of those like somehow I ended up with like Yahoo Sports Daily emails. I don't know how that happens. It just kind of does. But like they have like a succinct kind of mini column, kind of like the ones you send out in your emails. And I end up reading them every day because they're actually like that got a pretty interesting takes, not like extreme takes. It's like Jay Busby and.
Well, I thought you were talking about me at first. I was like, wait a minute.
Those are extreme takes.
Yeah, hot takes, man.
But
or green and gold takes. Yeah, get it.
Elton Jenkins. But one of them made a good point. And these are some well-known writers. Like I said, the Jay Busbys of the world. And made a good point. If you're upset about the Saudi money, there is a lot of other Saudi money out there and it's not just Saudi Arabia in and of itself. It's like where specifically it's coming from. And it's involved in a whole lot of other aspects of sports. There are a good number of like Premier League teams that have that. I'm glad I'm not a Newcastle fan right now because they'd be having some ethical dilemmas at the moment. I mean, it's not just the Live Golf Tour. It's not there's one element. So, and then understand also, if you start getting into ethical, moral territory and values and everything, when sports, good luck. You're going to run into it's going to get really rocky really fast. But I think it's the nature of how this particularly came about, the direct connection. What Mickelson said, too, was not a good start. If Mickelson doesn't say anything earlier on, I think this whole thing is a lot quieter. It's still out there, but it's way quieter. So he acknowledged it, and then that kind of set the tone for Live Golf. But the PGA is not in a good spot in general because they've lost so many people. There have been more since we last talked on the show a week ago. I think we're probably close to the end of the run. I think anyone who was thinking of jumping has now jumped. There'll be a few more, but the big names, DeChambeau, obviously Dustin Johnson, okay, they've done it now, but that's still a lot. And we're now in a spot where the PGA is not dominant like it used to be. I don't know when they will. Live Golf could fade out. It's still kind of this newfangled, let's try this, let's try that. But I wouldn't want to be investing in the PGA at the moment. And I don't know that they ever will be as dominant as they used to be. And why should they? I mean, it's not like the PGA has been the core golf organization going back to 1870. It's really about 30 years they've been dominant. It's a relatively new thing of dominance from the PGA. And why should they have this monopoly anyway?
Yeah.
I mean, when other rival leagues challenged, like say USFL challenged the NFL back in the 80s, was there anything inherently wrong with that? No. So in that regard, I mean, the PGA might have a little bit of what's coming to them too. I don't think it's good for golf either. That's a whole other thing. But the PGA maybe needs to learn a thing or two about this.
Do you agree with? Was it CBS Sports? Let me see if I can find it here. But now there's like some talk that it seems like Phil might be regretting his move.
Really?
Based off that presser that he had. I mean, I don't know if he necessarily regrets the move. I just think that maybe he's like, oh crap, yeah, I'm like a target at this, and that sort of thing.
He is outside of Greg Norman. He is.
I mean, he's kind of the face of the tour. Yes. I know Dustin Johnson's the higher ranked one, but I mean, Phil's kind of the face, I would argue,
because he was the first to be involved with that. Mickelson, from what I've gathered, watching him over the years. And listen, as much as any of us as a fan who's never been close in any capacity can guess, he seems like the kind of person who would be like, wow, I think I did screw that up. He's not one of those, I said it, I believe it, I own it. He seems like the opposite of that type. I mean, he's very opinionated, but he's also going to be like, maybe I shouldn't have. And I wonder if that's there to a certain degree. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to take the money, but wow, what? Was not quite expecting this to happen. I mean, who would have predicted that Phil Mickelson was suddenly going to be like the bad guy? And is he? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. You go ahead and do your stock riser. I'm going to say mine for last.
Andrew Wiggins.
How's that feel? How's that feel saying that?
It's so weird. Remember what I said a couple weeks ago that Wiggins was like a dark horse for MVP? There is a viable path. It's not a likely one, but there is a viable path to Andrew Wiggins as the MVP of this NBA Finals. The way he's performed the past couple games, granted, in Game 5 was really more the first half when he was up to like 18 points at the half, and he was playing really. I mean, watching that game, he was on. And The rebounding, wow, where did that come from? He's like hardcore rebounder now. If he has like 30 plus points and 10 plus rebounds, and specifically those two categories in a clinching game 6 or game 7, and if Steph Curry has a legit bad game. I know he had a bad 3-point game. He didn't really have a bad game. If Steph has a bad game, I think Wiggins could actually win the MVP. Can't believe I'm saying that, but that's how he's performed. Like, okay, of everyone left in the NBA Finals, as I see it, the only players that realistically could win the MVP are Steph, who I still think is the favorite. After what happened in Game 4, I think that almost would have clinched it for him.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew Wiggins, I don't think there's anyone else of the Warriors right now who's in position. And there are not that many more opportunities. The Warriors only need to win one more game.
Right.
Like if Klay Thompson goes off, that would be one game in a winning scenario.
You know what's going to happen, though, too, if Andrew Wiggins wins it? Because what was the talk about Steph Curry before the finals? Never won an NBA Finals MVP. They were using it as a knock on him.
Well, right. Like I saw someone, okay, again, always be wary of guy on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
But someone was like, 2015, Andre Iguodala, 2016, 2017, KD, 2018, KD, 2022, Maple Jordan. I think for a moment, I'm like, oh yeah, that was Andrew Wiggins' nickname because he's from Canada. I'm like, yeah, but I mean, come on. We're really saying Steph's a bum?
No, I don't.
Really?
But you know that's
not you and not
but that's what's going to be the talk. You know it's going to be the talk
which,
if he doesn't win it. And I don't agree with it, but you know, you'll have 4 championships and Steph Curry won't even have one NBA Finals MVP.
Well, and also
would that be like Tom Brady winning 7 Super Bowls and not winning 1 Super Bowl MVP?
It's getting there. It also almost feels like we're looking for other players to give it to because Steph is so good, so overall that you start to try to see, oh, who else is contributing? But then it just keeps it. Well, and then it also didn't help that you had Kevin Durant on your team, who's also one of the absolute best players around. So that's not entirely a fair thing. Okay, if it were like Andrew Bogut winning in 1 year, okay, then we're getting Iguodala was kind of that, but had it been like Bogut in 2015, Iguodala in 2017, Draymond in 2018, then you're getting into what's going on territory. But Kevin Durant, 2 years and are close to his peak of his career, I'm okay with that. I think any basketball fan should be okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
But other than Steph Curry and Andrew Wiggins, I think Brown, Tatum, I think Smart could potentially, but he makes too many stupid moves. So I think it's probably Brown, Tatum, Wiggins, and Curry are your 4 who realistically could win.
I'd agree.
And I think there's a possibility for another Celtic because they need to win 2 more games. So there could be some guy like a Rob Williams on a real dark horse thing. If he is rejecting 10 plus shots in the next 2 games and leads to a Boston win, maybe. But I think Steph Curry is going to win this. But Wiggins is going up. And look, he's doing stuff that he wasn't even doing in Golden State. This isn't just leaves Minnesota, becomes a star.
Mm-hmm.
It took a while.
Oh, yeah.
Warrior fans are probably like, wow, where did this come from? But, Wiggins is going up right now. How long it's going to last is also another story because he's shown flashes in Minnesota where he's figured it out, and then he didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
All right. So I got 2.
What?
I got 2 of them, and they're shout-outs to a couple of listeners. Stock risers. I'm going to go with our winner, Greg, who just texted in a little bit ago. So he was listening when we announced that he was a winner. But he listens every morning from Alma, Wisconsin.
Correct.
Thank you. I don't know why.
Alma Center, Alma.
Correct. Sorry. Yeah,
Alma Center and Alma.
But no, because he does it every morning while he's feeding cattle. So big shout out to Greg. I know it's not really a stock riser, but I'm using it as kind of like stock risers are listeners.
Well, hey,
you know that's a distance over there.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then we got a little breaking news for the second part.
Okay.
The house has been reserved.
By you?
No, C-Bomb. He reserved it.
Seriously?
He did. So now we got to figure this out. We
Well,
got to
it's
figure this
his-
out.
It's his credit card.
We got to figure this baby out, how we're going to do this.
You're
So-
going to training camp.
Well, we got 48 hours to cancel. We got 48 hours to cancel, I believe. I think, well, kind of reserved because it's got to be approved yet. So,
Ron Paul, it's happening, GIF.
it's it's got to be approved. So, but yeah. All right.
Okay.
It's like I'm thinking you haven't seen the movie Step Brothers, have you?
No.
So, it's like there's a part in Step Brothers where they're making a proposal to their family, like investors, prestige worldwide.
Yeah.
And they're going through their PowerPoint and all that.
Mhm.
And at the end, they're like, investors, possibly you, the two brothers. And I'm like, that's what I keep thinking. Like, sponsors, possibly you. So yeah. Get your side right off of Lombardi Avenue. Yeah. Or probably be like us over there, the two Step Brothers.
It'll just be you two.
You can call me Dragon.
Your logo is going to be the Dan Kasper Show.
Yeah, you can call me Dragon. You can call me Nighthawk. It's again from Step Brothers.
I haven't even seen it, and it sounds hilarious.
Oh, it's one of that came out. I remember I ended up buying the DVD. It was right at the same time Dark Knight came out. Those were like I bought them at the same time, and I'm like, that was a great. It would have been 08?
Yeah, I
09?
just looked it up. It was 2008.
Yeah. I remember watching Step Brothers and Dark Knight back to back with my college roommate Jake.
Yeah, that sounds like about that.
Kind of the total opposite ends of the spectrum right there. But,
Completely different.
yeah. But yeah, that's what I kept thinking, that part where they're making the pitch to their family because they can't get jobs. So they're going to start their own like talent company.
Was that one of like the last well-known, well-performing, relatively well-performing, I mean, good at the box office anyway, of those kind of comedies that really dominated the 2000s? Like there was about a 50% chance Will Ferrell and or John C. Reilly was in it, and Judd Apatow. Was that like one of the latter of that era?
Yeah, because they had a Sherlock one, and that one's not good. The Sherlock Holmes one with those is
yeah,
because
it feels like that, like the golden era was about to run out, and then you started to get like everything was derivative after that point, and then the genre just kind of fell apart.
Yeah, I mean there was like the 90s, late 90s to like the 2000s. That was like I think Brandon and I were talking about this the other day. There was like that type of genre of comedy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
American Pie, Road Trip, Euro Trip,
Oh gosh,
Van
yes.
Wilder, and then it kind of developed into like Anchorman and those type of comedies.
And as I've said, the movie posters that had like the big, it was like white movie posters with like the big red balloon font. Like everyone had the exact same font. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Like, and if you don't, you look at the posters and you'll know exactly what I mean.
Yep.
Oh, hey, Regis up 1-0.
Yeah, I saw that from Justice.
Go
Really?
Ramblers.
Going on right there.
So we could have two Eau Claire state champions, North and Regis. Am I correct?
North lost last night.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Yeah, North
Yeah.
lost yesterday.
Oh, my bad. I didn't know they lost.
Gotta really, man, just brought up, more depressing. They're probably like, you know what? I'm just giving you a hard time. Memorial won golf. There you go. State 2 Eau Claire champions.
Yeah, that's true.
North did have the lead, but then fell in the later innings.
Yeah.
Express won last night, though, in a back-to-back walk-off fashion. 2 nights in a row walk-off wins.
I feel a little bad that I wasn't there, but I mean, obviously I was at the game to start, but had to go pick up the wife. Of course, the baby's not going to hold out that late, but I was there. Side note, if you ever get to go up on like one of the elevated platforms above the fan deck, and I've been there before, but I was there last night. It was like a volume 1 contributor thing. So I was hanging out there last night. That is a freaking awesome view. Like for watching a game, and granted, again, when you're with the baby and you're interacting with your friends, you end up paying like about 5% attention to the actual game. But that is a great view of a game. If you ever get the chance, I'm talking to anyone. If you ever want to watch a game there in a really good angle, because you're not really going to get a similar angle like at a like Target Field or American Family. You just wouldn't, because of the way that stadiums are constructed. That's a great place to watch the game. up above and one of those elevated decks. And I was on the one right above where you get the concessions of the fan deck, like the main one, not the outfield one, but the one along the third baseline, or sorry, the first baseline. That is really good.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you.
Seriously, that's great.
Okay, tell you what. Oh man, it's already 8:30.
Yeah,
we got to catch up on some breaks.
We're gonna run out of the show here.
Just a little bit, man. So, all right, we got to take a quick break. Now I got a plan on going to Green Bay in July. I've had worse things.
You've done that before.
I have done that before.
Got an old hat.
What?
It's old hat.
Oh, I thought you said I have an old hat from there. I'm like, what?
Well, you probably do.
I got a closet full. So, all right, quick break. We'll be back in just a couple minutes. You know, I've actually been seeing more people with field goal posts in their yards, like legit ones. I know there's one on 29 just past Curtis. If you go towards Abbotsford, there's like a full size one, full field almost there in their yard.
Really?
And I think I just saw one. Might have been outside Lake Hallie this past weekend.
Huh.
So, I mean, I would love one, but I'm trying to get a putting green in my house. I would love that. That'd be awesome. Probably not going to happen. That'd be cool. Go out in your backyard and you got a putting green right there.
That'd actually be pretty cool.
I mean, work on my short game in that because my golf game sucks right now. Not good.
It would be kind of fun to have like part of an old field. Like this is where like you'd try to. I mean, good luck bringing grass over, but like you get AstroTurf, as we talked about in the show before.
Yeah.
But like have like a miniature area and get like a whole bunch. Speaking of turf, you probably could have gotten a bunch from Camp Randall. I just saw.
Were they selling it?
I don't think they were, but I just saw a picture of them laying down the new artificial turf for this year as part of the whole, they're renovating the south end zone.
Mm-hmm.
And I just saw a photo that was retweeted from Gary Ellerson showing the beginning of the new turf being laid down, which, I mean, it's going to probably look almost identical. So if you don't know, you wouldn't be able to tell, but they got new stuff. But if there was some way to get like a cut of the old field turf, put it in your backyard.
I'm surprised like RJ Cardinal doesn't have that yet.
Maybe he does.
He might.
I mean, I don't think it's like when Camp Randall had the same, like their first artificial turf from like 1969. And I don't think they updated it for 20 years. I don't think and that was the old like carpet stuff. Cause I remember, again, it was my first encounter with artificial turf back in 1988 when I went to a Packer preseason game. And when you walk along the concourse at the base of the stands, which was like right at the side of the football field, and you walk on it, and I was like, this is green blacktop.
Mm-hmm.
What the heck is this? And I think that's what the field was. So they didn't update it, I don't think, for 20 years. I think they updated like every few years now.
Mm-hmm.
So I think RJ might have had several opportunities to get a big chunk of turf to stick in his yard. And if not, we need to ask him about that. See if he should get like a whole series. They could probably carpet the building down in Madison or down to the zone and covered with field turf.
Mm-hmm.
You could.
Probably.
Side note, I noticed the AstroTurf lawn house in Eau Claire, the one on Margaret Street. You know which one I'm talking about, right?
Honestly, I don't.
Really?
No.
Okay, so there's a house on Margaret Street, and it's in the East Hill neighborhood. So if you're driving north on Margaret Street, you're getting close to Main Street. And it's all old houses from like 20s, 30s, 40s. It's older. There's one house where it gets a little hilly towards the northern part of Margaret, right as you're approaching Main Street. That's from like the 70s. And their lawn is artificial turf, like 70s artificial turf. And recently the owner sold it. It became like a thing around here because there was an open house and people toured it. And it was very 70s on the inside. Like,
we're talking like the shag carpets.
Yeah.
And all that. Okay.
Oh, wow. But that's because Margaret Street is a little bit of an artery. Mm-hmm. So I would drive by that all the time, going from like the south side into downtown or whatever. So you'd always see that. Someone bought it. They totally renovated the house. And then I think they flipped it, actually. But I figured, they're going to take out the AstroTurf because why would you have that? And I think and now I know the reason why, because I think the person that grew up there was like allergic to grass or something. So they put that's the reason why it's artificial turf. So I figured, okay, whoever gets it next, they're going to put in a regular lawn. They just cleaned it up. Like it was brown, it had weathered, and now it's like bright green. But it looks like 1970s Three River Stadium there. Drive by it on Margaret. You'll see what I'm talking about.
I've seen people like just have rocks in their yard.
Yeah, I mean, some people won't have too much in the way, or they'll go the other way and they'll like go all natural.
Yeah.
Not no mow May, but I mean like.
Oh, don't get me started on no mow May, man.
You're talking to a no mow May diehard here.
Really?
I'm all in on no mow May.
Well, I've got two neighbors that are still practicing no mow May.
Okay, it's June. Mow your lawn.
One of them, it looks like they got a Mario Kart track mode in there. That's what it is. Kind of funny. Yeah. I got to look at it. So it's like, come on. I
love that.
And they trimmed it up yesterday.
Okay.
The track. Everything else still up.
I need to see a picture of
this. I go on my Twitter feed. I posted one yesterday.
I will go check it out right now. Mm-hmm. But no, I'm very no mow May. I get it. It looks lame, but I understand why you're doing it. I mean, we got to keep the bees alive. And I'm not.
Don't tell Bob that because he went on a rant a couple weeks or in May about that.
What is he? Did he say that's not true?
Yeah, he does not. He's not in favor of that. So that's the ag guy.
Okay.
So I'm just saying, don't tell intern that you do that because he'll you know how Bob gets.
I know.
He'll preach at you.
I'll just make sure he doesn't drive by my place in May.
Yeah,
because I'm not stopping. I'm going to give him good. Plus, it's an extra month of not mowing the lawn. So,
well, I mean, I got a kid that wants to play out there all the time, so that's got to keep it low. He wanted to practice. We got t-ball to practice back there and all that. So
yeah. Well, maybe I'll install some AstroTurf and then it'll.
Well,
be a
that's like
nice
my yard. We got to get something done with that. There's a lot of creeping Charlie in there, and I'm not the world's greatest green thumb.
Neither am I.
I'd rather just kill it, and then I've got patches that have turned brown now, so I need to figure out what to do over there.
Ask my wife about my lawn care.
I love mowing. I love hopping on the rider and mowing and all that. It's just I hate the creeping Charlie, and it's getting longer. So
to like bend down, start pulling weeds.
That's
out.
what I've been doing, and it's just a pain.
Ugh.
Hate it.
Again, if you have field turf, not a problem.
Yeah, or
green all year long. You can put
the one area. If I can put a putting green in there, that would be take care of that too.
You could have like a full athletic lawn. You could have like one section that's football, one section that's baseball, one section that's golf.
Yeah,
kind of like one of those like multi-purpose
Jim
field turf
Nance
fields.
Eat your heart out for your backyard right there, man. Anybody doesn't know Jim Nance has a par 3 in his backyard?
Gosh, of course he does. Of course.
Well, I think doesn't he live right outside Pebble Beach? I think, or something like that.
It would make sense.
Yeah, he's got it's a downhill par 3 too.
Wow,
lucky guy. Huh? What's it like to be Jim Nance?
Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
Cover every major game in the world of every sport. Besides baseball, has Jim Nance ever done baseball?
I don't know that he ever did, but I don't think he ever really had much of a chance because CBS had baseball for 4 years in the early 90s, and Nance was still. And now he might have done like another game or something. Side note, the Sean McDonough, I saw going around this morning, getting to call Stanley Cup final beginning tonight. Because the games are on ABC and ESPN. And that means now he will have called college football,
NFL,
Major League Baseball, because he was, after Jack Buck retired, he became the voice of baseball on CBS. Now Stanley Cup.
Has he done NBA? Has Jim Nance done NBA?
Now that's even tougher because the NBA went to NBC beginning in the 1990-91 season. Again, Nance was there. McDonough was there. But that was back when Dick Stockton was the main voice. I'm old enough to remember Dick Stockton is my core NBA voice, and Brent Musburger. So I don't know if they would have had to be a reserve, I think, back then. They were really young. So I'm not sure if either Nance or McDonough called either baseball. Well, again, I don't know if Nance did baseball. I don't know if either one did the NBA, because that would have been, again, late 80s / early 90s, depending on which sport we're talking about. But yeah, McDonough will be on the call tonight.
See, Richard Sherman is going to be part of the Thursday Night Football.
Okay, I'm good with that.
Yeah,
I've always thought he could be a good commentator, and I do like how Amazon's mixing up
I've heard so many different names mentioned as a possible host. Like Kay Adams, Colleen Wolfe. I mean, there's
so it's Carissa Thompson's going to get it, right?
Is that official now?
I thought I saw that at Awful Announcing.
Okay,
but I was seeing a lot of that yesterday.
Yeah, reportedly joining. So that was a day ago. Okay,
and Awful Announcing is really good on the stuff. So I would. Okay, Thompson is reportedly Amazon's choice to host.
And I know Pat McAfee was mentioned as, they're targeting him. So you imagine McAfee and Richard Sherman.
That would be fun.
I mean, it would have to be on something like Amazon, because you're going to have the dump button a lot otherwise. That would be an interesting duo right there if they would pair those two guys up.
I'm pro McAfee getting a bigger role in general. Just don't know if he's going to get that opportunity.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he'd be open to it.
One of I think it's the SI Media podcast, had an interesting breakdown. I think they were talking to Brian Curtis from The Ringer. So it was very sports media nerd off there, which I'm all in on that, by the way. But they were talking about, could McAfee ever get a major analyst role? And they're talking about he's had some opportunity, but would the NFL allow that? And he does NFL Network stuff, so it's not like he's.
Well, I mean, Ian's on there every week, NFL Network guy,
right?
The only thing is you can kind of tell which shows and which networks probably have good relationships with others. Like Pat will have Orlovsky on once in a while, never Adam Schefter.
Yeah,
you don't see those guys on there,
right?
But yeah, I don't know. But you can kind of tell once in a while, who's on good graces and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, we're Huggy.
You know,
Good.
if the NFL and
Pat's gotten more NFL Network people on than any. I think he's had Kay on before. Colleen Wolfe was on a few times. I think she got actually in trouble for some of the stuff she said on there. But yeah, it's because it's more open.
Right. So that's the thing. Does the NFL want to have someone like
here's
Pat
the thing.
McAfee?
He can get Aaron Rodgers though.
He can.
So,
but does the NFL necessarily want that? I mean, I think Roger Goodell would just as soon not had any of that stuff happen last year.
They had Pat do a draft pick. That's kind of when I think he first started to come on the scene. Remember when he announced the draft pick for the Colts in Tennessee and he riled up all the fans?
Vaguely.
Yeah. You know, I'll find the clip here.
There's been so many
because he started off with Barstool.
Right. Because there have been so many examples of guys riling up fans at the draft. I've forgotten which one is which.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Pat started off with Barstool for a very short time. I mean, his stock, he was at CBS Sports for a little bit, and now he's at his current role at Sirius XM. Let's see if I can get it up here. I was in Tennessee. Here we go. Probably going to, play the ad here for a couple seconds, and then we'll play what Pat said at the draft. I think this was the 2019. Oh, this is from the NFL YouTube account, and they actually have it. Pat hilariously roasts the Titans.
Hilariously.
And that's from the NFL right there. So
welcome from West
McAfee.
Virginia University. 2014 Colts Man of the Year. Two-time Pro Bowler.
We have a 7-second delay.
He's
Man of America, not Man of the Year. He's Man
Hello,
of America.
Nashville. I'm not going to say a single word about the Tennessee Titans record against the Indianapolis Colts because I was a punter, and there's no reason for me to talk about that. With that being said, we did not punt much against the Tennessee Titans, so you probably have no clue who I am to begin. 2 years ago, when I retired from the Colts, I retired alongside two greats, Robert Mathis and Joe Wright. A couple months later, I watched the draft. Robert Mathis announced the pick, Joe Wright announced the pick, and then an orangutan announced the fourth-round draft pick. I was replaced by a zoo animal. I was not upset about it because the orangutan was terrible at his job. With that being said, the Indianapolis Colts.
There you go. So
wow. That
was the orangutan one where I think Mike Mayock was just going bonkers about.
Yep. That was really good.
I didn't realize he won he was a Man of the Year.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that. Good for him.
I see. That's the thing. I would enjoy Pat McAfee doing color commentary, but even with the NFL Network connection, so that he's obviously got an in with the league. If you're going there, I don't know that the league wants him to be that much of a face. If the NFL were concerned about younger people drifting, which again, from best as I can tell, and I haven't really seen too many recently updated stats, but I do think teens, early 20s, basically Gen Z, is softer on sports, period. Not just the NFL. Like in general, I think they're gravitating more towards other forms of gaming, not traditional live sports. Again, it's not like the bottom's falling out, but it's less than in most prior generations. But I think a lot of them would gravitate more towards a person like a Pat McAfee than a traditional analyst. And if I'm the NFL, I would get someone like him doing the games. If you want to try to watch a game, which again, that's getting into old-fashioned watch a game on linear TV live, which it sounds absurd that would be criticized. Younger generation is going to be more like, why do I want to watch a game for 3 hours in a row? That's stupid. Well, maybe having someone like a McAfee doing the game, I know the older folks might be like, wow, I can't stay. Well, which generation are you more concerned with? Do you want to build up your next generation or do you want to hold to the older one?
Yeah.
I mean, and the NFL is usually pretty forward thinking. So I would not.
Wouldn't that be kind of a weird mixture, though, with Amazon? Because we know Kirk Herbstreit and Al Michaels are the in-game commentators.
Right.
Veterans. They've been around a while. But your pregame and your postgame is going to have, we know, Richard Sherman, and then you put somebody like Pat. That's like two opposites. You've got your, younger, goofy, more vocal type of people in the beginning and the postgame, and then you just got some wily veterans doing the game in-game.
It is a little strange, but maybe the point with that is knowing And maybe
It's a
this is what the
mixture.
NFL's
Yeah.
see. This is what maybe the NFL's gambling on. That they probably know that somewhat younger folks aren't going to watch the whole time, but they're gonna probably pay attention to the shows because that's where a lot of like the viral stuff can end up coming from.
Mhm.
I mean, you get that from like inside the NBA. That's the stuff that ends up going around Twitter, goes around Instagram, and younger folks are going to respond to that. So maybe they're thinking, no, why should we even put McAfee or someone like that on the main broadcast? Have them in the spot where they can own it, as opposed to during the game when the thing that's going to go viral, if anything is going to go viral, is the activity on the field. It's not going to be the play-by-play guy. It's not going to be the color guy. And if it is going to be them, it's going to be because of something happening on the field. Think like Kevin Harlan. Well, that's because something was happening on the field. Now, Harlan was genius enough to turn it into a viral moment without really trying. But
I feel like Monday Night Football tried this with Dennis Miller and Tony Kornheiser.
they kind of did, and that was pre-viral anyway, so
Right.
that wasn't going to work. I commend them for trying, but it just didn't work. But yeah, if you want McAfee involved, don't have him calling 3rd down and 12 in the third quarter. Have him saying something in the pre or post game that ends up being that 10-second clip that everyone's reacting to from the pregame and postgame show.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, now that I think about that, maybe it actually is the real smart way to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Carissa Thompson's a pro. Tony Gonzalez is a pro. You've got people.
Is he on the Thursday too?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you got some really experienced people that are going to be there. Sherman will do great. McAfee. This has potential to be a good show. Again, probably not to like inside the NBA levels, but there's some. This will be interesting.
That's an interesting comparison. I know we got to take a really quick break, but I mean, is everybody looking at what Inside the NBA does with Shaq and Barkley and the bantering back and forth?
It's the one that works.
Mm-hmm.
More so
and they're
than
trying
any,
to replicate that.
That is the one that works
because it's natural.
Yes, and they also give them time to breathe, time to really talk. You'll often hear that when like it's compared to ESPN's pre, post, and especially halftime of the game broadcast, where it's disjointed. Apparently it's gotten better in the pregame this year, but
you need an Ernie Johnson though too to do that.
Right. And it's, I mean, really what you probably need, and I've heard this like the SI Media podcast to make this point, just make it the Stephen A show, essentially.
Oh boy.
That's probably the way you should go, instead of having, all right, 4 guys here, your 20-second take, your 20-second take, your 20-second take. All right, now let's go to commercial.
Right.
Versus inside the NBA. That one, it's all, like you said, it's organic too.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering if they were forcing Shaq into this because he's Shaq, and it took a little while.
It did.
But it works now.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you recreate that? And that is so tough to do.
It is. And that's why, even if you don't like basketball, it's entertaining listening to those guys.
Yeah.
It really is. And it starts with Barkley. You know, you can take him where you want him, but it starts with Barkley and Ernie Johnson.
It would be good without him. It's excellent. It's sublime with him, which is weird to say. A Charles Barkley thing is sublime, but in terms of entertainment, yes, it is. He knows what to do.
Yep, I agree. All right, we really got to take a break. So, okay, we'll do that. Quick break. We'll be back in just a couple minutes to finish up this Wednesday morning. Yeah, I don't got anything. We might only have a couple minutes there, Luke. So make it quick.
All right.
quick text here saying that awesome show today. P.S. Did you know that I went to Regis, class of 1980, go Ramblers, win state baseball? I did, G-Man. You want to know why? Because I remember you trash talking to Bronson Koenig at the Express game last year because Bronson went to lacrosse. You guys were trash talking about that. So I remember that there, G-Man.
Wow.
Trash talking to Bronson about that. So,
wow.
Oh, yeah, big boy. I knew you went there.
Okay.
Do you want to know how much Gerald McCoy paid for his 93 jersey from the Carolina when he went to Carolina? Well, let's listen.
Hey, listen, that 50 is cute. That's cute. But what does your legacy mean to you? I've been wearing 93 since I got to college. So when I went to the Carolina Panthers, I wanted 93, but it didn't cost me 50.
Oh my God.
It cost me $250.
$250,000 for a jersey number. Must be nice.
That's okay. Now that's getting to be a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, even by NFL standards, that's a lot.
Like for the great Carolina Panther, Gerald McCoy, who what, 2 years, 1 year there?
Mm-hmm. Wow. I mean, you really got to love your number. Which I get it. Numbers are very important to athletes. I understand that, but still, that's a lot.
Man,
would you spend that much money to keep your number if you were like an NFL level player?
I guess if I had about $10 million or $15 million, maybe, because that's what, not a lot, I guess. Percentage wise, what is that? But
well, I mean, that's
probably
like
like
a $250,000. So if you have $10 million in the bank, that's
was it a game check? Maybe,
probably less than that or more than that.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a lot to have your number.
And if it's not salary cap, then I don't know. I'm bad at math.
What's the cap to cash on this?
Right. Salary cap's fake now, though. So there you go.
Yeah.
It's all fake. It's all screwed up. Thank you, Rams, for screwing everything up. It's all fake. Fake. I
have to remind myself of what actually goes against the cap and what doesn't at this point. I don't even know.
It's, everybody's just, the thing is, you're going to keep kicking the can down the road, but yet salary caps are going to keep going up. So everybody says, well, it's going to come. It's going to come.
Well,
but it might be 10 years, 15 years.
And if you're the Rams, you're like, yeah. And also, by the way, we're the defending champions.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they do the ultimate scoreboard right now.
They gambled and they won the gamble.
It worked.
And they're gambling again.
Might as well.
Yep. Hey, we got Tom Brady coming on. Actually, he's on DP in like 20 minutes. So there you go.
Jeez.
If you want to listen to 7-time Super Bowl champion Tom Brady. Doing it. Okay.
Yeah.
That was bad. All right, DP, Dan, they're up next. Have a good Wednesday. We'll be back at it again tomorrow morning, just past 6 a.m. Talk to you then.
You're listening to the Dan Patrick Show on